Welcome to the next dimension in entertainment. Coming to you live from the offices of Chapter One Films in Charlotte, North Carolina, this is the 4D Podcast with your hosts, Greg Prinz, Nathaniel Levinson, and Marco Brutus. Sit back and enjoy a deep dive into film. This is the 4D Podcast.
Just got a smoothie from there, and then they were just like, "Hey, we'd love to be sponsored."
Welcome
on
to
the show.
Dearly Debated. A bunch of nobodies talking about nothing.
It might just be our new tagline.
It is.
That might be.
It
We
might
has
just
to be
have
our
to
new
say
motto.
it.
It's so good.
We have to say it every time now.
That very well might be the goated thing.
a bunch of nobodies talking about nothing,
That's us. That's us, baby.
and then it just continues to be that, and
Yeah.
people laugh at it at first, and they're like, "This kind of is just a bunch of nobodies talking about
nothing. That's what we are.
It's good stuff.
That's what we
It's
do.
good stuff.
But we have been consistent because this, ladies and gentlemen, is episode 59.
Oh, let's go.
It is Monday,
Did we do
April
anything for episode
20th.
50?
I think episode 50 might have been the last episode of last season.
I think it was.
Although our seasons have just been kind of arbitrary.
Yeah, you just been. It, literally, what'll happen is Greg will be like, "All right, we're starting a new season." I'm like, oh, okay.
That's literally. I'll just tell Nathaniel. I'm like, "Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, we're
dude.
done with that
This is
season." He's like, okay.
Nathaniel's like,
Yes.
what's next show? And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a season. It's a season finale." He's
finale,
like, "Wait, what?
Okay.
Why?
That works.
I don't know. But we're glad you're joining us today. If you're watching and you're wondering why you can't comment and join with us, it's because you haven't subscribed or liked our channel. Go ahead and do that. It helps us out, and you can join in the fun. We interact with you live, so if you ever want to say something, have a question, pop it in the chat, and Marco will be quick to respond.
Yes.
But we're glad you're joining us here today. We've had a little bit more of a layoff. It's been 3 weeks.
We all got laid off by
We have no jobs. I fired Marco, and then I fired myself. And
Things got weird.
and
I
then
don't know.
Nathaniel got fired, and then for a while it was supposed to be Jakob taking over the show. That didn't fly. But we have a lot of news to get to, and there is a
Jakob
funny
immediately went on strike.
There's a funny trend
no time at
that
all.
starts to happen. I think with my news segment, and I've started to realize that like. The trailers, that part grows a lot, right? Like it's like, oh my, more and more
Yeah.
trailers. But then it's like, now let's talk about the ones that are doing well at the box offices. It's always like, I've got two to talk about. I'm like, we've been out for 3 weeks. I'm like, I'm going to have so many trailers and movies that were released. And I'm looking at all the trailers that came out, but I'm looking at the movies that were released. And like, ChatGPT's like, don't talk about any of these. Like none of these are worth talking about. I'm like, all right, well. Anyway, so we got news to get around to. We'll start off with new trailers coming out in the last 3 weeks. The big one that was announced, I guess, over the weekend at SuperCon, they released a Avengers Doomsday trailer. It actually,
Doomsday.
to my knowledge, unless it's been over the last few minutes or an hour, this has not dropped. I've not seen it on YouTube. I'm sure you could find it on the high seas. There are people breaking it down that were at SuperCon. But it's the most talked about thing right now. Is just that's a big deal. It's got all of the people in it. It's got all the old X-Men people. It's got all the old Marvel. All the people that died are back. I mean, they're Dragon Ball Z-ing everything. So
and here's the thing is, this movie could be good. There's every chance that it's excellent.
I certainly hope it is.
I think it can't be. Like, they're just trying to do so many different things. I don't think it's possible for it to be a good movie, like logistically. But it could be excellent.
wait,
Will
what?
that matter?
It can't possibly be good. It could be
I
excellent.
don't think it could be.
Okay,
I
good.
predict that
Let's-
it's going to be a disaster.
Okay, your prediction: disaster.
Or at very best mid, just because of what
That's
they're
where I
trying
think
to do.
it's going to be.
Just because of what they're trying to do, it's either going to be atrocious because it's all over the place,
yeah,
or mid because there's like, a lot of cool action, but nothing really matters.
and it.
But the question is, and it is a two-parter, I believe. It's like Doomsday and Secret Wars. And this is going to be the big MCU reset. So while the performance of these two movies does kind of matter, what really matters is
What
what do they
happens
do
after?
afterwards.
That is the real
So,
question.
I'll probably go see both of those.
Yeah, I think.
Just because, if nothing else, it's the last dying gasp
Yeah.
of something that I used to enjoy.
It's definitely the MCU that we thought was ending at Endgame, and then we're like, great, this is the end of all that. And then they're like, we're just gonna keep running out all these new characters that nobody likes after we've kind of moved on from all of our main characters, and nobody liked it. Like Phase 4 or whatever it's called. It's been terrible. And then they're like, hey, let's have another send-off, kind of. Like, because there's no way they're just reviving these people. Like, there's no way it can just be like, and now we're going to make more Tony Stark Iron Man movies. They're not going to be like, now we're going to make more Chris Evans Captain America movies. That's not going to happen. And so I think that you nailed it spot on. I actually think it probably will be a success because I think for the people like me that just hasn't like, I have not watched hardly any Phase 4 stuff. I remember watching Shang-Chi, and for the first half being like, this could be cool, and the second half being like, this could be not cool. This could be really, really lame. And
I watched the Eternals, and that was it for me.
Yes.
After the Eternals, I was like, oh, Marvel's bad.
I haven't watched. If
Like
you can name
perma-bad.
everything else, I'm like, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any of
I
those
watched
things.
a couple of the shows, and I just stopped caring.
Yeah, I really stopped caring, stopped watching, but it's taking a fan like me and going, well, I definitely want to see this. It's got all the characters that I actually cared about, now that I don't care about anybody. But anyways, one of my segments I'm talking about today is superhero movies and kind of how that's evolved over time, and it'll kind of end with where we're at right now. So we'll dig more into Doomsday. But going through some of the other trailers that have released in the last 3 weeks, Godzilla -1 had a teaser come out.
You mean -0?
-0. I apologize. That I'm really stoked about because Godzilla -1 was a
Really,
phenomenal movie. I mean, just blew my socks off. I think this could be a great little franchise for them. I think if they can keep making Godzilla movies like that with that kind of quality and care and just effort, I'm super stoked. The teaser virtually showed nothing other than it's in America.
Yeah.
So it's like him walking next to the Statue of Liberty. And then it's like narrated by, a person speaking English. So there's that. Fokker-in-Law.
No interest.
The fourth iteration.
I
of
don't
the Fokkers.
find those like those.
I find them funny. I found the first one funny. The second one, the third one, terrible. So I'm assuming this one's also going to be terrible. Plus, it has Ariana Grande, which
Yeah. So from the trailer, it looks like Ariana Grande is dating.
You mean the revived ghoul of Ariana Grande?
the Ariana Grande, who the camera is adding 12 pounds, so she looks like she's 13 pounds. She's dating Ben Stiller's son, and he's now bringing her over to meet his Ben Stiller's parent, like his in-laws. And it kind of starts off like, ooh, the in-laws are just going to be grilling her now because she's. But then it just turns into them like grilling the dad again. And I was like, so it's just the mean in-laws loving everybody except for his name is Gaylord Fokker. But anyways, I mean that part's kind of funny.
It's funny that they would still have a character named that in 2026.
Maybe they've changed his name. I don't know.
He changed his name to Translord now.
Brink of War, another movie coming out. This is another Reagan movie. I mean, we just watched Reagan not too long ago. This is about Reagan having his sit down with Gorbachev. I said that the other day too. Gorbachev. Why do I say it like that?
terrible.
Because you hate Russia.
Gorbachev. I do hate those guys. I'm just kidding. Anyways,
commies.
it's about their conversation that they have, which if you've seen the Reagan movie, it's a pretty. It's a little boring, but I mean, it seems like an accurate depiction of what happened. Jeez. And this one's just about the one conversation they had, and it's coming out like a year and a half later. Anyways,
it reminds me a lot of like Nuremberg.
Yeah,
that's what it reminds me of. And I just recently rewatched Nuremberg actually, and it was really, really good. By the way, that's on my list.
I've never been a big biopic guy. So.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. We have Young Washington, which is about a young George Washington.
I'm excited for that one.
Still a biopic. Still don't really care.
Yep. We have Dog Stars. I'm kind of excited about this one.
The name is terrible.
The name is
so bad.
Awful.
Yeah.
What is it about? Is it about MMA?
No.
What the hell is it about?
Why would you think?
Because you guys are both excited about it and I know nothing.
This is a post-apocalyptic, I believe it's a zombie type movie.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin.
Thanos.
Yes, Thanos. Man, wow. Names and words.
Dude, honestly, probably.
I played volleyball this weekend and I am still not recovered from that.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a post-apocalyptic zombie type movie. It looks pretty good, to be honest. The name, Dog Star, don't know what they're going with there. Maybe they'll have some
dog
meaning.
water.
Here's the reason why I don't want to watch it. It's funny. I could deal when people die in movies, and I barely bat an eye. You put a dog in front of me that dies, I'm out. I don't
Yeah,
want
I
to
don't
watch the
care.
movie anymore. I don't. I just don't.
The dog
Sorry.
does die.
People could die all the time. Don't care. Dog dies, I'm out.
Yeah, I don't care if the dog dies.
Next movie trailer, Hershey.
Like about the chocolate?
Not about the chocolate. It's about a woman, and she goes by her, she. No, it's about the chocolate.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
She, her.
Hey, Nathaniel, can you move that whiteboard?
Which way? Where?
Just off. Oh, that thing is falling apart.
Probably.
It's just it was
our
causing
center
some issues.
camera was actually like the lighting on it was all off. I'm pretty sure that's probably why. It was probably catching the white.
Well, it's
in there.
on auto
It was
right now.
It was auto.
And now it's
white
like
balance.
super
So-
bright. I don't know. We'll figure
Anyways, it doesn't. I think it's done by Angel Studio actually.
Oh, okay.
But it's got big name actors in it, so we'll see what happens there. As Deep as the Grave.
Sounds like a revenge flick.
It's about Native American mistreating, I think.
So like Killers of the Flower Moon.
So the interesting part about this
it
movie
out. I saw what's happening. I thought
is that it stars Val Kilmer, who is pretty much dead at this point. It stars
right.
young Val Kilmer,
Kilmer.
playing a person. So he's not like, hey, I'm an actor acting as young Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer, the actual human being, is playing a role in this movie. But I don't think it's actually him.
no, it's AI.
But they announced that he is in. They're like, and Val Kilmer as so.
Oh, right, because Val Kilmer has this whole thing
Val
where
Kilmer
he
is like he can't speak. Like he's like
no, but he like gave his AI rights to a studio.
that. So then now they literally have AI Val Kilmer in this movie acting, and like everybody's kind of like, dog, no, like what are we doing? And it's got Draco Malfoy. He's one of the people digging up people in the grave that were in Native. I don't know.
Oh, is this about the Canadian church that was supposed to have like 50,000 Indian kids under it and it had 0?
I have no idea.
Probably.
And the church got burned down, and it turned out that it was all a hoax.
We have Ice Cream Man, which go ahead and guess what
Horror.
Yes. I watched the trailer.
It is a horror. This is about
There was
an ice cream man.
There's already
that-
been a horror movie about an ice cream man.
This one, I think the kids eat the ice cream and then they go and murder people, from what I gathered from the trailer.
Yeah,
That makes
seems-
sense.
Seems to be the case.
And then rounding off our new trailers list, we have Ladies First, which I'm sure we'll all be amped to see.
This is women talking.
This is where a total bro Chad boss man who's just like a total misogynistic pig
Gets a trans.
he runs into a pole and then all of life changes. Now all of the women are in men's roles and all the men are in women's roles. It's just like a bunch of women working construction and they're like, hey there, sweetheart. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so objectified. And I'm like, this is it was just rough to even watch the trailer. I'm sorry.
What year is it?
I was-
if this
I was-
came out in like
was like,
1970,
dog.
you'd be like, okay, fine, whatever, and it'd be a comedy. But nowadays, like, what world are you living in where this is a reality? It's not.
It's terrible. It was
The
it
patriarchy
was
isn't real, and if it was, it's a good thing.
it was oh my
I'm on the record saying that.
wild statement, Nathaniel Levinson.
Repeal the 19th Amendment. Got him. We're so canceled. Bunch of nobody's talking about nothing.
All right, so we have had some new movies and TV shows come out. Most of them TV shows. This is back to my statement of all these movie trailers, and then by the time they hit movies, only like 2 of them are worth talking about.
Yes.
But there were a lot of really interesting new TV shows that were released in this time period. So Malcolm in the Middle got a reboot. This
Super
is
woke reboot with a non-binary kid.
Yep, that's
Yay,
apparently
just what we needed.
apparently it's like even Hollywood is like this is too woke. Like
Yeah.
why? Which is wild. I've not seen anything about it. I did watch
Apparently
Malcolm in
it's
the
not
Middle
great.
as a kid. I actually thought it was a pretty funny show. I thought the dynamic between the brothers was actually really funny and kind of
never watched
charming.
it.
They all like idolized the oldest brother who was like super rebellious and he's in military school, but every time he's back in town, he wanted to do pranks on people. The second oldest brother is like a complete bonehead, and he's really mean. And there's Malcolm, who's in the middle, and then there's Dewey, who's the young kid who's just always like being left out of everything, and then the dad, which is Bryan Cranston, who's incredible. Like he is hysterical in that movie, and the mom is just a monster. So it just created for a lot of fun interactions, and his being able to narrate to the audience and break the fourth wall was really clever at the time. I enjoyed Malcolm in the Middle. I'm imagining this is dog water. I have no interest in seeing it. Mall Shadow Lord. I've heard really good things about this.
So
I've
I
heard
watched
mixed things.
I watched the first episode, and it's just it's made for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's clearly made for kids, and I just couldn't get on board with it. If I was a teenager,
Carp
a
loved
young teenager, a 13, 14-year-old teenager, I feel like I would freaking love this shit.
If this
But
was
I
coming
just-
out like after episode 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I had this conversation with my friend who liked it, and I was like, listen, Darth Maul. After the 6 movies have come out, right? Episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That was it. Not before anything else happened. When Star Wars was like, hey, we're done. I was like, dude, Darth Maul is one of my favorite characters ever. Sorry, he's just so menacing. He's so cool. He's only in it for the brief time. Doesn't have a whole lot of lines, but he's so cool. They did such a good job with him. And I was like, great. And then somebody's like, hey, that's a really good idea. He's such a good character. Let's make a whole show about him. I'm like, but he's dead. That's kind of like the big glaring problem.
Solo said he's not
He's a
dead.
dead character. And they're like, well, let's just make him not dead. And I'm like, all right, well, you're kind of using my fandom against me. Because, yes, I do want to see more of Darth Maul. He's one of my favorite characters. And I think a lot of people share that sentiment with me. But you can't just be like, he was cut in half, but they missed all the vital. Like, I never was on board with that because I know they were like, oh, we answered that question a long time ago. This is why he's sitting there with robot legs talking to somebody in Solo. And I'm like, no, I just still haven't gotten over that. I still can't stand anything
Don't
with
forget,
Darth Maul.
he has an older brother who has yellow face paint, whose name is Savage Opress.
no,
no
joking.
chance.
no
I'm
shot.
not joking. Look it up. Savage Opress.
Savage
No.
Opress.
I watched all of Clone Wars. I'm in the lore, baby. I know. It's not a joke.
I
and they team up to take over Mandalore, and then Emperor Palpatine shows up and just destroys them. It's actually a really good fight. They're like these big badasses, and Emperor Palpatine shows up, dual wielding, by the way. Palpatine dual wields, and just wipes the floor with both of them.
That is.
This happened in Clone Wars.
Maul Shadow Lord might
The
be a
guy who
good
did
series.
this, the man who did this, Dave Filoni, he's in charge of Lucasfilm now. So that's what you got to look forward to. He came up with Savage Opress. Real thing.
Maul Shadow Lord might be good, but I just still personally have not gotten over the fact that Darth Maul should be dead. You're Obi-Wan cut him in half, and he
Yes.
fell. That is as egregious as somehow Palpatine survived, in my opinion. Just stop stop being like,
100%.
oh, but he's a cool character. We want to see him because I think that's where most of my friends are at.
It's the
And
same
I'm
as Boba Fett climbing out of the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
you
it-
killed him off. Come up with a new character. Sorry.
Margot's got money problems. This is a big TV show that's popping right now. It's about a girl who starts an OnlyFans to take care of her daughter. I don't know.
Gross.
Yep. Looks dumb.
No interest.
Then there's Outcome. This is a movie that came out about Keanu Reeves.
It's about Keanu Reeves.
I mean, he's not playing himself, but he's playing an actor who basically just
Is in
has
the Matrix.
he has to go on an apology tour.
Oh yeah, we talked about this last
yeah,
time.
we talked
Yeah,
about
that was the
Yeah.
trailer, but it actually hit theaters and it did pretty well. It
Really?
looks
I'm
kind of
shocked.
agonizing. He's just like him going around and being like, "Let me just apologize for existing," and like they never really tell you like what it is that he did. It's just a bunch of people being like, "Yeah, you need to apologize for everything," and it just gives me bad vibes. It gives me the vibes of just like everybody telling the successful white man like that like he needs to apologize for. But granted, I mean, I've just seen the trailer, haven't seen the movie. It's doing well, so there's that. And then Pizza Movie's actually been doing well. I wouldn't mind watching this.
Never
I have
heard
a
of
feeling
this.
this
I
would make
heard-
me laugh.
I've heard that this is actually pretty funny.
Okay,
Like,
so this is the premise.
Yeah.
So it's the kid. It's Dustin from Stranger Things
Uh-huh.
and his college friend. It has very super bad type vibes. They get to college and they're kind of like, man, this should be a lot of fun. And somebody had left this can full of like mints, and they open it up and it's not mints. It's these really like goofy looking like drugs. And so they're like,
Yeah.
well, hey, we should each take one. Come on. And so they each take, like, they look up what it is. And on the YouTube thing that they watch, it's like, yeah, it's going to give you like the greatest trip of your life. So they both take one. And then they realize, but this is after they're high. So I imagine this might be one of the twists. But then they realize they're like, you have to eat pizza with us. Otherwise, it's the worst trip of your life. And so they're like losing their minds. Like they're just looking around and there's just like, it just looks absolutely bonkers. The whole premise of the movie is they have to make it down 2 floors to the first floor of the lobby where there's pizza. But for them, they're having such a crazy trip that those 2 floors, it's going to be like going through like a planet. Like that, they're like, I don't know if we can make it, man. And so it actually looked really funny from the
Not
trailer.
my kind of comedy.
it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, I think it's on one of these streaming services. It looks funny. It's one of the 2 movies that's gotten good reviews over the last 3 weeks. That and Outcome. So if I had to watch one of the movies that came out recently, that one actually kind of looked funny. So there's that. All right, that's it for movies that were released. Random news. Elden Rings has announced its cast. I knew nobody from the cast.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Honestly, that's a good thing.
So there was one. It was the guy from Parks and Rec, the Ron Swanson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh? Nick Offerman?
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine what character he'll play.
I didn't know the names of the characters, so I don't know.
What?
I can't.
Could you look it up? Who's Nick Offerman? Who Nick Offerman's supposed to be playing?
Computer, look it up. Sorry.
Computer. Hey, computer, look it up.
Buddy, I'm trying to do two different things.
Well, while he looks that up, the only other really big random
I'm
piece
not
of
looking it
news
up.
is that. Okay, sorry.
You guys suck.
All right, so Nathaniel will look it up.
I'm trying to do too many things here. I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
I'm trying to go live on Facebook. I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh,
We're trying to make things happen here.
so Nathaniel's looking up that. The last little bit of random news is that Stranger Things.
Okay, so he's probably doing a voice because he's playing Iron Fist Alexander the Warrior Jar, which is a giant jar with arms. So most likely he's just doing
It seems like him.
the voice,
Um,
which is weird because that guy's got I mean, I can see him doing it, but he's definitely got a British accent. I've never heard Nick Offerman do a British accent.
Stranger Things Tales from '85 is dropping on Thursday.
No interest.
Don't even know what that is.
I have
It's
no
like
clue what that is.
it's between it's animated and it's between seasons 3 and 4.
Well, you seem to know more than I do.
That's literally the only thing I know, and I don't care about it.
Happy birthday, Andy Serkis.
Hey, there he is.
Don't make the hunt for Golem. Back out. Back out now. Don't do it.
Happy birthday, Carmen Electra.
Is that her actual name? I thought she played Elektra in Daredevil.
No, no.
Are you talking about the person who played Elektra in?
Carmen Electra is like a supermodel lady. She's
a real
old.
person?
She's old now.
She's a real person.
Yes, Electra was the name of the character, from Daredevil that was played by Jennifer something.
You can see my confusion. Totally understandable.
No.
Totally. Also, where this is about movies, why the hell do you have an actress or a supermodel birthday on there, Greg?
She's acted in some things. I don't know. She's a very well known name. I said the name and you knew. You thought it was the wrong one.
No, I heard Elektra and I thought of Elektra from Daredevil, which is clearly wrong. So I didn't know.
Clearly.
Happy birthday, Jessica Lange.
Who?
She is an old lady.
Yeah, no, I got that.
She's 70.
okay. In
today.
what? What is she in?
She played in the original Godzilla. She was the blonde
okay.
girl that was taken by Godzilla. Or sorry, Godzilla.
King Kong.
There we go. Yeah, you knew what I meant. You see, just like the Electra thing.
Why are we letting him still talk?
Why do I bring the news every day? I can't read. I can barely write, and yet I have just pamphlets in front of me.
How can you read this? There are no
How
pictures.
There are no pictures. If anybody saw my screen, it's just pictures. It's just pictures.
It's
of
like
things.
hieroglyphics.
And when people are like asking about the details, I'm just like, it's just a picture of an ice cream guy.
Crane, Ankh.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying.
Happy birthday, Super Troopers.
I actually enjoyed that movie. Although I enjoyed Cape Fear more. Same guys. Cape Fear I thought was a better movie. It's very similar. They kind of do the same thing in every movie, but I thought Cape Fear was funnier.
only movie of note that came out on this day. So there's that. Take that with what you will. All right, so we're going to get into our segments today, and who?
I think we should start with this.
All right. Well, so
Do you
okay.
wanna
So
start with this
Marco,
or do you wanna end
is
with
this
this?
your segment here?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's just a segment that is going to happen every week.
Okay. All right.
Every
then-
episode.
So then
So
let's
do it.
Yeah. Let's start with this. Okay. So
Why don't you
let's-
explain what we have in here?
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Marco, explain.
Well, all
to,
right, so,
explain to the crowd.
yeah, so in the middle of the table here, I have scoured our comment section, and I have picked out some of the best, absolute best comments that we have received on all of our videos, and we are going to read them, and we are going to react to them, and trying to either A, defend ourselves, or B, laugh hysterically at some of these comments because they are glorious, absolutely glorious.
Well, then, shall I?
Without further ado, sir.
Give us some music. Give us the Wii music.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Don't read it yet.
Wait, I don't even think I put it in there.
Just pull it up on something. How many are we gonna do? All of these? We're gonna do
No,
a
just
couple
a couple,
each?
just
Okay.
a couple. We'll
We
just do
each
this.
grab two.
Let's do this. It's fine.
This is the Jakob music. Get this out of here.
This seems to be
All right,
missing some text.
What?
Oh, I got it.
Did it cut?
Yeah, no, I ripped it.
Oh, you ripped it. I was gonna say I didn't rip
I
it.
was like, it seems to be missing letters. It's missing part of a letter.
All right, so we're each picking two, and you can just find the Wii music on YouTube or something.
Well, we're just gonna not. You're just
Okay,
gonna.
right.
It's fine.
Okay.
Bryce Rogers. Should I read the who?
Yeah, absolutely. Read the person.
Bryce Rogers, and I can only hope this podcast is AI.
That's actually
I got
awesome.
good news for you, bud. It's not. Although these two Yahoos do use ChatGPT, so I guess you could say, in some ways,
There are
there's some
AI aspects.
AI assisted.
There you
AI
go.
assisted.
Thank you, Bryce Rogers. I love how big this is. The comment is this big. I'm like, fold. JTP says, is this a joke? Question mark. Hit us with a horn or something. Give us something.
Oh, we got a big one. From Nito Farts.
That's great.
What's
already
the name of this podcast so I can make sure I never watch it because this Chad is chatting me out? It's not like it says at the title of
Do
the
we
short.
think he's talking about Marco there?
No,
Yes.
he's clearly talking about me.
Nope. 100% it was about me. 100% it was about me.
No. He's clearly talking about me.
All right, here we go. That was a long one. Bear with me, crowd. I don't read goodly.
Goodly, eh?
From Baked Turkey.
I don't need the comment.
Okay, so some of this is his misspelling, so it's not me. Just okay. Has this dude ever been to that fair ride where it spins you and you can't stand on the walls, or is there a weight limit for the ride?
Clearly directed at Marco.
So,
Marco,
so I know the comments
camera,
on this
the
one.
camera adds a few pounds.
What?
So the comment
what video
was
on that.
So this one is about the video where you're doing the science description of the centrifugal force, and they were like,
Oh, the
was talking
centrifugal
about
force.
you.
That's brutal.
Oh, funny. Fat man fat. Brilliant. Malto's Delight. Oh, man. Oh, this is a hot take. MCU is only trash if you don't get it. It's okay. It isn't for everyone.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, terrible. Absolutely.
Good luck defending that, bud.
What an ass take, dude.
That's such a
What an
bad
absolute
take.
terrible take.
Ooh. I thought our takes were bad, but that's really
Honestly,
good.
don't
that's
get
going
it.
to work out nicely to Greg's segment.
Yeah.
So-
The only way you can, if you can, so if you think it's bad, it's only because it's not for you. Is such a hot take.
Dude, that's
It is so bad.
We freely
So
admit,
wild.
like, look, this wasn't for me. Superhero movies, statistically, are for us. So
Yes.
if we don't
Yeah.
like them, you're the one not hitting the target audience.
Well, that's what I say about, like, I'm personally not a fan of the Barbie movie. I think it was great for its audience. I think
First
girls
third, hysterical.
loved that
Great.
movie, and I'm like, that's great. It's clearly a movie made for girls. Like, there's probably just not like a whole line of dudes that like, dude, Barbie movie, gotta watch it again. Like,
Ken was the hero.
I'm not saying that you can't enjoy it, but I'm just saying it's probably geared at girls, just how superhero movies are typically geared at boys. I don't know how we got on that topic, but I'm
don't
about
know.
to segment into my first.
Wait. What have we been watching?
Oh, very good call. Very good call. All right, so let's go around the room. I've got my list of things that we have been watching here at the 4D Podcast Studio. Marco, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I can start us off. So I've got quite a bit. I've been on a rampage here. Me and my wife rewatched one of our favorite movies of all time, Holes.
Oh, God.
Phenomenal. So many good one-liners. Such a good movie. Overall, just such a good feel-good movie, and it's one of those movies where I can put it on any time of day.
Biggest problem with that movie, actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf is not fat at any point in that movie. And that's kind of a major plot point.
Bigger problem with that movie, they call the whatever product that he ends up making at the end, it's like hair gel. They call it splooge. And like, it's not ironically, they're just like, hey, he's like, hey, I'm in the desert and I found what turns out to be onions that have just like over ripened, so it's like sweet, but they're like dying of hunger. So like they find these onions and they just start munching on them. And he's like, I don't know what it's called, but I just want to call it splooge. And they're like, yeah, great. And so they start, and you're like, Does any was that just not a rat? Like, did nobody say that?
I
back
don't remember
then?
that from the book. So
Did you?
Oh man, it's so
Did nobody
good.
just and then they're like, nah, now that we're famous and we're out of this whatever prison thing, I'm just gonna make a product and we'll call it Splooge. And it's like on a commercial like Splooge. And I'm like, what?
what are we doing here,
I
guys?
can't get over that part.
So
Anyways,
good.
continue.
So good.
Dulé Hill, fantastic. Of
I
course.
watched Dead Poet Society. Great movie.
Great movie.
Okay, after my
Sad,
Sorry, guys.
sad movie.
Very sad movie, but really, really good. I watched The Upside with Kevin Hart, where he takes care of a paraplegic guy. Feel good movie. Feel good movie.
So that's actually a redo of The Intouchables. It's called The Intouchables, not The Untouchables. I think it's called The Untouchables. No. Anyways, it's so that's a true story. But it was originally done in French with a couple of French actors.
Les
And
Intouchables.
that movie won like a whole bunch of awards. And then they redid it in English, and it's Bryan Cranston as the
Yes.
cripple, and it's Kevin Hart as the.
And Kevin Hart did a really good job, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you obviously
The storyline
have the
is
Kevin
great.
you have the Kevin Hart
Humor.
quirks to him or whatever, but as a general, like he did a good job. I would say he did.
Oh my goodness, it's 1 p.m.
Patch Adams, really good.
So you just been on a Robin Williams streak?
I did. I went down a Robin Williams hole. I did a couple of them. It was
And you
it
went
was good
down
stuff.
some holes.
And I did some.
Splooge.
Oh,
Hit
okay.
the horn, dude. You got the opportunity, man.
We
It's-
need- we
it's a-
clearly need
we
to migrate
get
the
yeah, we
soundboard
need to
over
get the
here.
soundboard
You
over
can have
here.
the soundboard all
You
you
gotta figure
want.
that out.
All right. Next one on my list that we watched, me and my wife, who watched Matilda. Great movie. Feel good movie.
Is that the
very bizarre?
little witch thing?
Yeah, she's a little witchy. Little bit. She has a
That
little bit of
teenage
power.
witch?
Witch,
Suffer a
Matilda
witch
the
to
Teenage
live.
Witch? Is that the?
It's not the teenage
Not the
witch.
teenage witch. No,
Which
she's
one's
just a
that?
little kid.
That's Sabrina, the teenage witch. No, Matilda is. She's a.
Is it the two fingers?
Yeah, where she's moving things around or whatever, but
Okay,
it's
yeah.
not. But it's anyways. Great movie. You should go watch it again because you clearly haven't seen it in a while.
I just remember that
Mercy.
scene where like the awful like woman at the school
Yes.
like makes the kid eat the chocolate cake, and
Yes.
like that terrified me.
Yes,
That-
honestly,
still terrifying.
bizarre movie,
Yeah, really weird.
but
Well,
good.
you know who
It's
wrote
interesting.
it?
Who?
Roald Dahl. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That's why it's messed up.
It is a little bit of a bizarre.
It is a
It's a
little
Roald Dahl.
weird.
Anytime you watch like an old children's movie and you're like, it's good, but it's really weird and messed up. It's because it's based on a Roald Dahl book. Like all of them.
It's
James
good,
and the
but I'm
Giant
a little
Peach,
bit scared.
Nightmare Fuel.
Oh, dude.
Matilda.
Yeah.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder. Like they're all great, but really scary. They have really intense, scary moments because Roald Dahl was messed up.
Yeah. Anyways, next one on my list was Mercy. This was the what is it? Not Paul Rudd.
Lamberg.
No, Chris
Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt. He is on trial and for the murder of his wife. Ends up that
I didn't do it.
he is the one that set up this AI generated court system to where he has absolute access to all things technology that the government
I
has.
remember the trailer for this.
Overall, it's an okay movie. It is the plot is okay. There are some that just make you go, what? like hoverboards are randomly a part of the movie.
Boards are great.
And there's a lot of things that are just bizarre about it. Anyways, my next thing is, which I'm going to get into today, is Thrash, which is the hurricane version of Sharknado. And I'm going to get into that with one of my sections. Blast from the Past. Rewatched that.
Such a good movie.
Such a good movie. It is
Phenomenal.
incredible. The number of one-liners in that movie, so good. I watched Nuremberg again for the
About
twice
the
or-
Nuremberg
twice or
trials.
third time or whatever it was. Very, very good. And then yesterday I rewatched Lucy for the however many time. Lucy is the one where she gets forced to
She's got like she can use all of her brain, and so then now she can like
gets
control the
forced
world.
to basically transport drugs, and they incision and they like put the drugs inside of her, and then somebody kicks her and opens the bag inside of her, and then that causes
Just
her
super
brain.
high all the time.
I love.
She turns into a super brain, and she can use 100% of her
That's
brains,
how
and it's
drugs
pretty
work, kids.
wild.
And then you find out at the end that she's just tripping the whole time.
Is that actually? That would be
So
great.
that's
Maybe we never know.
That's what I've been watching. That's what I got. On to you.
That's one of the weird like biology myths is that you only use 10% of your brain. Like that's not true. it's not. Like,
If you could use all of it, you
of course,
could levitate
the
books
best,
across the room.
the best that used is in Scott Pilgrim. How does being vegan give you superpowers? You know how you only use 10% of your brain? That's because the other 90% is curds and whey. But
Most of
it's not a true fact.
all the movies that I've watched, I'm pretty sure Nathaniel watched too because we watch a lot together. Crime 101, we watched that. Honestly, I think the longer it sat with me, the more I didn't like it. I was just like, it was a heist movie that started off with like one heist, like it opens on a heist that takes like 2 seconds and there's nothing about it. It's just like, hey, give me the stuff. Okay, he gives him the stuff and he runs away.
Give me the loot.
Then the whole entire movie, there is no heist of any kind. There's no nothing. There's not really even a whole lot of build up to the end heist. There's not a whole lot of explanation as to what the end heist is going to be. It's like, hey, this guy's gonna be flying in, and we want you to pick him up. And he's like, okay. And like you're like, okay, so that's the heist. That's it. And you take the diaments from him. And like,
I also called every single twist in the movie, so it was pretty predictable.
And then it's like, oh, well, now there's going to be this. But all in all, it's like, hey, here's a character who's not happy being a criminal. So he's going to be a citizen by the end. Here's a character not happy being a cop, so he's going to be a criminal by the end. And here's a woman character who's not happy in her job, and she's going to just kind of float around.
She's a woman.
And she's everybody in their job hates her because she's a woman. And she has a big impassioned speech where she's like, you guys all hate me because I'm a woman.
No, because she was an old woman. And the young hot woman was the one they were like.
The dude literally had a line where he was like, "You're 56," and I'm like, "Oh God,
like
what
seriously.
are we? What like, dog? Why are you like?" And also, she's driving around in a Mercedes, and she's like, "I just reached the ceiling here. I can't go any higher." I'm like, "Dog, you're killing it. Like, you're the." She's like, I'm just a vice president or whatever." I'm like, "What? Great perspective, you moron." Sorry. Anyways, not a great movie. Boring. They also tried to paint Chris Hemsworth like he's awkward and weird, and I'm like, go ahead, good luck. Go ahead, and he just walks through and he's like, oh, I don't really know how to talk to girls. I'm like, okay, dude. All right, why don't you just write
whatever
that
you
way?
say, man.
Just go ahead and like, none of us have a chance if the girl in the scene is like, yeah, you're kind of awkward, like, yeah. All dudes fail. I watched Street Fighter, the first one.
Was actually really good.
Kind of not bad. Like weird. It definitely felt like an 80s movie, and very, very corny, but it just kind of felt like a corny 80s movie. And I think it's because I was comparing it to Mortal Kombat,
which we had also just watched. And they came out like a year apart.
Mortal Kombat is like a screensaver. It's the equivalent of like being like, what is going on my screen while I'm not like.
Yeah, this one was like colorful and wacky, and they really leaned into the characters, just like these larger than life characters, and it was really fun.
Yeah, it was honestly a fine watch. Watched The Truman Show. Very good. Incredible movie. Really good movie as far as I feel like I could break that down as far as like using tone in a movie. The serious tones in an otherwise kind of wonky movie, they do a really good job of that. I watched Leon the Professional. I don't know how I feel about this movie. It's it's about a French guy who is an assassin. He's a hitman, and it's about little Natalie Portman.
Real little Natalie Portman.
But like this is like 11 or 12-year-old Natalie Portman living next door to him, and then she's like in this really crappy family. Her father beats her, and her father's like in with the mob, and she goes out for food, and then somebody comes, like the mobsters come and kill like her whole family. So when she comes back, she like goes into Leon's, like she always like sees Leon leaving, and she's like kind of like chats with him a little bit, and he just tries to shake it off because he's trying to be like not involved with anybody. He's a hitman. So she ends up walking to his door, knocking on it, acting like that's her door because all the bad people are still around. And then he just lets her in and kind of saves her life. And so now she's like, well, I just want to be a hitman like you, because she finds out pretty quickly that he is. And he just doesn't know how to handle it. He has no interaction with people at all. And he's just like, this is kind of weird. But then really quickly, she's like, I'm also in love with you. I don't want to be your lover. And she's like 11 or 12. And he's like, oh, I don't think that would be a good idea. Like, oh, this is a little weird, you know? And I don't think so. And he keeps pushing it off. But like, they just keep harping on it the whole time. There's like this dinner scene where she's drinking wine and she's like giggling and just looking at him and making eyes at him. And I'm like, I think there's just a little too much of that. Like Gary Oldman is like the main mobster guy. He's phenomenal. Leon, which is I forget his name.
Jacques.
Yeah, it's the French dude that plays in all of those movies at that time period. It was like,
oh my gosh,
his name is like Jacques something.
It's like Jacques Girard or something like that.
He's great
I know
And
him
obviously
because
Natalie
he's in a
Portman
new
is
show.
phenomenal as a 11 or 12-year-old. Like, holy crap, amazing. So there's all those things. I just felt like I just didn't know how to feel about all that stuff. Their relationship is charming if it was strictly platonic, but the fact that at least in one way there was a interested party, it was just weird. I finished House of Dragon. Not great. I watched Night of the Seven Kingdoms and was like, okay, I got to give the whole Game of Thrones things another go. Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, I mean, just the dragons are cool. Like I'm a nerd enough to be like, that's gonna carry it. I'll see all the different dragons and see like who can control them and the different factions that are trying to take control of the dragons and fight each other. And there's a war going on. There's not really a war going on if you really think about it. You just watch a whole lot of episodes.
Not Jean Reno.
Okay, you just watch a whole lot of terrible people, just a bunch of nobodies doing nothing really. Is House of
Nobody's
Dragon.
doing nothing. Classic. That sounds like there's something great to watch. You should watch that.
It's honestly brutal. Like they don't give you anybody. At least in the Game of Thrones, they gave you the Starks, which you're like, hey, I just kind of ultimately hope they win, even though like the noble ones keep dying. You get somebody to root for. This one, there's legitimately nobody. Like they're like everybody is awful right off the bat. It's like you're, with your uncle and you're with your sister and you killed your brother and you killed his nephew and your nephew is your dad and you're like it's all over the place and it's like, dude, this is exhausting to care about any of you. Just put the dragons back on screen. That's kind of how I started feeling. But that's all I've been watching last 3 weeks. What about you?
Started rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's probably my favorite Michael Schur show. It's very funny. Doesn't get super woke until Donald Trump gets elected. Then it starts getting a little more. But it's
Such is the case.
Yeah, it's generally pretty good. 2020, the last season it's like half really bad episodes and half really good episodes. It's a shame because it's really well written for the most part. But most of what I've been doing is watching Frankenstein movies.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna do a segment about that,
I'm
right?
gonna do a whole segment about it. So I'm not really
Okay.
gonna talk about those.
Okay.
And other than that, I've watched all the movies that
Yeah, I was gonna say
Nice.
that Greg watched. So I did watch 9 different Frankenstein movies, but that's what my segment's going to be about. So I will forego my time on this part of the segment to talk about that.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll open us up. I guess I'll start off with I've got I don't know if you're going to call this a deep dive, but I'm just going to talk about the state of superhero movies and kind of how we got here. I think
I could do that in one sentence. I didn't even a sentence, just a word, just a sound. There you go.
I
That's the
think
state
it's a
of
little
superhero
more
movies.
deep than that. And I
Really?
think we can forgive
I think
Nathaniel.
the current state of superhero movies is not more
It's
deep
not,
than that.
It's not just talking about the current state. I'm also going to talk about like the whole track. Okay. All right. So superhero movies. Let's talk about this a little bit. So superheroes. These things started more so as comics, cartoons, things like that, and eventually they
Almost
had
all of them started as
yes,
comics.
and eventually they had in the very early '60s they had some live action interpretations of these films, of these comics.
Interestingly, it actually started as radio plays. Like there were Superman radio plays
Really,
before, yeah, because all these comics like became popular in the 30s and 40s.
right?
And so immediately they were like, well, we need to get this into another medium. So radio is actually the first, and then they moved it onto television.
So visually speaking, this would be the first step. Would
Around the
would
50s,
be
60s.
They started making a few of these live action things visually. This is the first time you had a live person acting as one of those comic book people, and for the longest decades, it was just campy. Like, I mean, like even to the my younger years, when you think about, the first Batman movies and some of the early Superman movies, they mainly were like, okay, this can be fun, but mainly this is kind of goofy. Like we're trying to pull all these cartoon characters into real life, and we just kind of have to accept that it's all goofy. And I feel like they had this threshold. They were kept in a certain category, almost like horror movies are, where you're like, okay, well, that's a good horror movie, but like horror movies have a different aim than any other movie, where they're just trying to make you feel a certain kind of way. The story could go anywhere it wants to, but really it's just about scaring you. Like that is the main thing that doesn't exist in other movies, where it's like our mission isn't to scare you, whereas a horror movie's main mission is to be a horror movie, is to be horrific. So these cartoony kind of superhero movies existed in that realm for a very long time, and it made a switch in the early 2000s. This is when X-Men came out, when Spider-Man came out, and people started realizing, oh, you can actually take yourself seriously as one of these movies. Now you have to tweak things, and this is where it becomes important to be, okay, what are the things that we're changing a little bit on, and what are we leaving in, right? Like we have to change something. Like X-Men, for example. we can't have them wear what they wear in the cartoons. We just can't. Like, there's no way you do that and that anybody takes that seriously. Like, Scott can't be walking around in like yellow Speedos the whole time and be like, "Hey, I'm here to help." Like, it just, there's no way you can paint that in a, if you're going to want to make, if you're trying to not make a campy version, then you can't do that. And so they said, okay, those are some areas that we can segment on. These the X-Men, they wear just black kind of leather suits. Like, it still looks a little superhero-y. But it's not the comic looking, Wolverine's not in this like weird spiky outfit that's got green or yellow slash marks all over it, like he is in the newest version of of Deadpool. But they took those steps to then say, okay, now that we've got kind of grounded looking people, we can tell a more serious story, and we have characters that actually take themselves seriously. We don't have to lean into the campy side of things. And Spider-Man took the same route, right? And that was the first adaptation of what I understand of Spider-Man in a live action form. There might be some really old ones. I could be wrong on that.
There's a weird Japanese one where he has a gun. It might be Italian.
So that was like the big spark. Then it was like, well, we need to make sequels and we need to make superhero movies of pretty much everything. And then I feel like they started to veer in two directions. You either got the Christopher Nolan style of we have to make this dark, right? Like, there's no way you basically have to veer off towards self-aware humor or getting really, really dark. And in my opinion, it was best when it was in the middle, when it was just Spider-Man, X-Men in that phase where they were just taking themselves seriously, but they were like, hey, we can still also understand that we're being goofy. Yes, you can step back and be like, these are mutants hopping around and saving the world.
What happens to a flock when they get struck by lightning?
The same thing
that happens to everyone else.
Woof.
That's one of the good ones.
But I think the movies started to veer off and say, okay, the MCU took this route of being like, hey, we just need to lean into the obvious. We need to be very self-aware about what's going on. We need to have that nudge, nudge, wink, wink type humor right at the camera. That kind of lets everybody know, hey, we get it. This is a little silly so that we can have our fun superhero movies. And I feel like that worked for a lot of different reasons. But then you also had the Christopher Nolan direction that I think he took the Batman movies in, which was, we're strategically going to pick Batman villains that are or we're going to take even the supernatural ones and we'll make them into human forms, right? So Ra's al Ghul, this is from the first Batman Begins, the first Christopher Nolan Batman. In the comics and in all the whatever, he's an immortal. Ra's al Ghul is like this guy who went into the pit of
Lazarus pits.
The Lazarus pits, and he actually became like, you can't kill him, and they can keep reviving him in this Lazarus pit. And he is the head of the League of Shadows and all that stuff, and he has a daughter, Talia, and she does have a love interest with Batman. All that stuff is true, but Nolan decided to take that idea and say, okay, well, let's just say that the idea of Ra's al Ghul is immortal, and that if he dies, the leader of the League of Shadows will always just take on the name Ra's al Ghul, so he's effectively immortal. And I'm like, okay, that's a cool, grounded way to get that into your very, like, I want to make a dark, gritty, grounded movie. I'm not saying that those movies are bad. I think all three of those movies are great. The third one tapers off a little bit. But he took that direction. I think Logan took a very gritty, like, dark direction. And I think future Batmans, like this last Batman we watched, and then the previous BVS ones, have taken a very serious, kind of dark, gritty turn. And I think that it's kind of veered in this direction of saying, okay, we either have to be really goofy, like the MCU levels of, like, I can't take anything seriously. I have to constantly be making a joke. Or I'm going to be, like, real uber edgy, like gratuitous almost. I mean, if you really want to dig into like the TV shows of superhero type stuff that's coming out now, like Invincible and The Boys, like that stuff is just super heavy on the gratuitous side of, like, we're just going to be super edgy. Like we need to really wipe your face away from the fact that there's like people running around in scantily clad costumes, and we're just going to show people like getting punched through the chest to make you like forget about all that, to be like, yeah, no, we're cool. We can watch this. Which brings us to like the state of the MCU now, which is it's gone through. So it's gone through and it's done this really amazing thing, which connected all these different movies. And that was why people watched it, right? There was a whole culture behind, like, there's an Easter egg in this one that's going to tell us what's going to happen in the next one. And it's kind of the first time we've seen anything like that. Now it's kind of nauseating how much movies do this, where they're like, hey, any movie ever that's had a whatever of this movie, we're going to have an alternate dimension version where we bring them all together in some fashion. That's just happened everywhere, and it's getting nauseating. But now, after they've kind of run through that cycle and said, okay, now we're going to have a reboot, and we're just going to kind of start fresh. We're going to get rid of Captain America. We'll get rid of Iron Man. We'll get rid of, like, Thor. He's fat and he's out of shape, whatever. And we'll just kind of restart. We'll plug in some new characters because now we got the fan base. and that failed miserably. Nobody liked any of these two characters, and you realize very quickly that people were watching it for Captain America and Iron Man. Primarily, those two characters carried all of it. So as soon as you lost them, you lost all the fans. So now here they are going, okay, we can either dig ourselves into the ground, or we can kind of just admit it and be like, yeah, that sucked. This is kind of lame how we're doing it, but we're bringing everybody back. And I think that's what they're doing now. And to be honest, I think it's the best thing they could possibly do. Now I'll open it up to talk about Doomsday and like what we're doing now with these superhero movies, because I think, and overall, me going through that whole spiel about superhero movies is that now that we've seen them done well, it does set the standard a little bit differently, because I think everybody's fallback is typically, and we've gotten several comments on this, it's a fun movie, stop thinking about it's a space wizard movie, what all these comments where it's like,
People said that about the kids' movies too, and C.S. Lewis had a great quote where he's like, if a kid's movie, he was talking about books.
Yeah.
But it's like, if a kid's book can only be enjoyed by a kid, it's a bad kid's book.
right, and I think the obvious thing is just to say, we've seen it done well. Sorry, you've already done it well. Like
And
if
there's a place for trash superhero movies, it's called The Fast and the Furious, and it's fine.
well, it's like we had those kinds of superheroes movies for a while, and I think if you were to still be like, if I was looking back at the Batman movies from the early, in the 90s and the early 2000s, or I guess it was just the 90s, but in the 90s, those Batman movies, and been like, I really don't think I think you'd be fair to say, look, this is a superhero movie, Greg. Like, stop overanalyzing it. Like, Tim Burton did it. It looks like it's out of a kid's book. But now that you have actually made superhero movies that do have really complex characters and well-told stories, and you put the effort in, then it's like, okay, well, now if you're gonna make a superhero movie, I'm gonna hold you to that standard. Like, you can, like, it's just a movie like any other movie. So it's gotta have those elements. So now I think we can hold those movies to that standard. And now we're at a big, I don't know if you call it a crossroads, but a big interesting point in superhero cinematic history, and in Doomsday coming up, which is gonna be it's almost like wiping the slate clean. I don't know what's gonna. I think the more interesting question that you brought up is what's gonna happen after, because I think that the movie will make money for sure. I think people are gonna come out and see.
Here's the biggest problem is this movie is gonna cost $1 billion.
More than that.
You could be over $1 billion.
They're gonna need to make an obscene. They're basically gonna need to make an obscene amount of money just to break even. So I don't think, like, the goal of this has to be for them. Not, hey, we're going to set box office records. Not, hey, we're going to make so much money on this film. But, hey, we're investing this $1 billion or $2 billion or whatever it is, so that we're securing our future. And that has to be what they're doing. And if they don't do that, then I think we will look back at these two movies as a failure.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree with that. I think that it is more of an investment into the future rather than we're going to kill this movie and then be done, because it's never going to happen. They're always going to milk whatever they can out of the cow.
But I just don't think this is going to be ultimately that profitable for them. And I think they need to recognize that and say, we're not going to worry about whether this is profitable or not. We're pulling out all the stops. We're giving it one last hurrah. And then I honestly think if we can't succeed post, maybe they do 1 or 2 movies, and if they don't do well, sell Marvel.
Yeah.
Cut your losses. Get rid of it. Spin it off.
Wait like 15 years and then start making them again.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's my talk about superhero movies and how we got here.
It's funny that because the tone is like DC went super edgy dark because Nolan movies did so well. MCU did the sort of Joss Whedon sarcastic, sardonic humor, but there's a fine line, and it has to be done well. And Joss Whedon was one of the people who was very good at doing it, because even all his shows, Firefly, Buffy, they had that tone, but also they had serious moments.
Yeah.
And they got to the point where people are imitating that style, but not understanding how it works, the balance that you have to strike, because it's so easy to cross over the line into, there are no stakes, nothing matters. And that's where Phases 4 and 5 fell apart. Yeah. It's largely because the tone and the stakes just weren't there. There's no reason to watch these movies. Forget about the story, which were garbage. Yeah. Forget about nothing matters anymore. It's they're all like functionally nihilistic. And so
Multiverse of Madness ruined everything. I mean, like, you were just like, okay, well, like what am I even?
But it's so interesting to me that they have such a struggle striking tone. Look, like we talked about Truman Show, which did have very comedic tones and very serious moments, and they both land. Yeah, is that anime is so good at having very silly characters, very goofy things happening, but also having really serious moments that land. And it's like, guys, My Hero Academia, which did gangbusters that everyone loved. Everyone who was working on superhero movies needs to just watch that and be like, this is how you do it.
Yeah, yeah.
This is how you make endearing characters who have quirks, literally in My Hero Academia, but who are quirky, and there's lighthearted moments, but also there's really serious things that happen.
Yeah.
And people, and again, similar to when we talk about Star Wars, like, yeah, they make jokes in Star Wars, but they take what's happening seriously. Like, they're lighthearted people. Like, soldiers in war will make jokes, but they're not like, this war, knee slapper. Like in Saving Private Ryan, there's a whole moment where they all start cracking up laughing. But it's not like it's not a serious movie.
Right.
So,
well, and it makes sense to the moment. And I mean, one of those points is when Ryan is sitting there and he's told that his brothers have died. And so they kind of sit there, they all take a breath, and he starts just talking about stories about his brother. And so you get his development as far as how he might be feeling in this. And he's man, like there's one time, we caught him in the barn and he's running out of there with his girlfriend and he's cracking up, and they're all kind of like, they recognize what's going on and they're chuckling, but they understand that this is just a kind of a moment for him to reminisce about his brothers. And then he's like, and that was it. That was the last time I saw him. And then everything just gets real quiet. You're like, that is like a beautifully done moment that you can kind of sit there and be endeared with the character. But he's not making fun of the moment itself. He's not going, hey, this would be the point, right, where most of the characters of the movie would start laughing at this stuff, right? To try to hide your tears, because you'll have to hide your tears, right? Because you'd be that kind of person, right? And he'd walk off, and you're like, what in the, like, that's how I feel like most movies would handle it now. Like, you speak exactly to, like,
it's what I talked about. It's all emotional incontinence because people don't understand, because they've never actually experienced them, a real emotions that stem out of loss or love or like real actual things in their life. They're all just like a bunch of Hollywood Nepo babies that don't know anything about the real world. And that's one of the reasons they can't write. They haven't experienced anything. And like, look, you're not going to experience everything in your life. You can't. But how do you experience things? You need to read books. You need to read books. You need to watch good movies. And that's how you understand other perspectives of people who have been through those sorts of things.
All right.
Let me talk about the movies I watched. So I watched 9 different Frankensteins.
Jeez.
Hey.
So let me just give you, and the reason I did this is because I reread Frankenstein. I hadn't read it since I was in like middle school or high school. So I reread Frankenstein, aka The New Prometheus. Ooh, edgy. I read it. It's a good book. It's a good read. It's very interesting. And so I want to talk about, so I'm breaking my segment up into 2 parts because there's a lot to talk about. So the first part, I just want to kind of talk about the general plot of the book, and then the plot of the different movies, and then I'll rank the movies I watched. And then I want to talk about in part 2, like, what makes a good adaptation?
Okay.
Because there are a lot of different takes on Mary Shelley's work, and I found it very interesting, like, what has kind of made its way into popular culture versus what's actually in the book. Okay, so the book Frankenstein, the framing is that there's this guy, Captain Walton, I think, who's he's like an explorer, and so he has the ship and he's going on this, trying to find this this passage through Arctic ice, right? And so the whole framing for the story is that he's writing letters to his wife. And so as he's writing letters to his wife, he's telling her what happened. He says, "Oh, we were out, we found this man, we saw this thing on a dog sled, and it looked like some sort of monstrous shape running away, and then we found some guy on the ice. So we brought him in, we brought him back to life. His name is Victor Frankenstein, and we got to become friends, and he started telling me a story." And so then it's Victor Frankenstein is telling his story to the captain, and the captain is writing it down as letters that he's sending back to his wife. And so Frankenstein like grows up in a loving family. He has this cousin, Elizabeth, who he's betrothed to. Yeah, it's a little weird.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah, House of the Dragon. But anyways, he grows up. He becomes interested in science, but he's always like, well, I feel like there's this divide between science and philosophy and alchemy, and I ignored that divide. So he's like, I've always been interested in why can't we bring things back to life? So basically, he devotes his time to studying that, to working on that. And the thing is, and this is different from all the adaptations. So how does Frankenstein's monster brought to life?
Oh, electricity?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
In my understanding, he hooks him to this giant like pole, and something strikes the pole with lightning, and that like starts his heart.
Yeah,
that's how I understood it.
Yeah, and in almost all the adaptations, that's exactly what happens. In the book, he never says how he brought them to life. All he says was, "I discovered the secret to bring things to life."
Really?
Yep.
So it doesn't lean into the science at all?
And the reason he says that is because later the captain asks him to share what the secret is, and Frankenstein is like, "I will never let anyone know, because I don't want anyone to replicate my work." So in the book, there's nothing about how he did it, which is really interesting. So the lightning thing actually comes from the first major movie, which was the 1931 Frankenstein.
Interesting.
So anyways, all this to say, he ends up creating Frankenstein. As soon as he creates Frankenstein creates his monster, as soon as he creates this monster, I'm going to call it the demon because that's what they call it, the demon. He creates the demon and immediately regrets it and runs away, tries to burn his laboratory down, like destroys everything. Gets home, finds out that his little brother, this little kid named William, has been murdered. And he's like, oh my gosh, it must have been my monster. He has no reason to think that it was his monster. He thinks it must have been my monster. One of their servants, Justine, gets framed for it and gets executed. And so he's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. He becomes despondent. And then he's like, eventually he tracks down, he's goes out like on a vacation. His friend is like, we need to go on vacation. He goes out on this vacation and Frankenstein's monster confronts him, grabs him, like pulls him into this hut and says, hey, you need to sit down and listen to my tale. You're my creator. You're going to shut up and listen to me. And Frankenstein's like, curse you, monster. And what's interesting is because Frankenstein's like a monster, right? That's the typical. No, he's very eloquent. And in fact, he speaks in like Old English. So he tells this whole story about how he escaped from the lab and he had no idea what he was. And he was, learning how to move and walk and different things like that. He got shot at by hunters and he had no idea what was going on. And he ended up basically hiding out in this little he made himself this little hidey hole next to this hut. And while he was at this hut, he could hear what was going on in the house and like look in through the cracks in the windows. And it's this family with a blind father. And he learned to speak by watching them talk and interact. And he learned what love was and all these other things. And so eventually he says, oh, I want that. So he goes in and the father like welcomes in because the father's blind. And so he starts talking to the father and they're there's like some heartfelt emotion, but then the rest of the family comes back. He's like, oh my gosh, it's a monster. And they drive him out. And so he goes and finds Frankenstein. He's like, you got to make me a wife. It's not fair that you leave me all alone. You got to make me a wife. And Frankenstein's like, I don't want to make you a wife. You killed my brother. He's like, yeah, I killed your brother. I did it to avenge myself on you. But I promise you this: if you make me a wife, literally we'll go to South America where there's nobody living, and we'll be vegetarians. We won't harm anyone ever again. And so Frank's like, okay, fine. You twisted my arm. I'll do it. So he makes Frankenstein a bride. And then at the very last minute, he decides, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to doom humanity to these monsters. And so he basically rips the body apart before he brings it to life. And Frankenstein's monster sees this and says, I'll see you on your wedding night. And then disappears from the story for a while. So then Frankenstein is going to get married, goes up to his wedding suite, and sure enough, Frankenstein's monster is there and murders Elizabeth. And so then it leads to Frankenstein loses it and just continues to chase him, and then eventually chases him all the way out to the Arctic. And that's where it picks up. And then Frankenstein's monster appears on the boat and has a conversation with the captain. Frankenstein dies, and the monster says, don't worry. Now that he's dead, my vengeance is complete. I got nothing to live for. I'm going to go kill myself. And that's the end of the book. So I'm leaving a lot out, right? But
Sure.
the general framework of the book. Okay. So let me go through a couple of these. So the very first one, really interesting. The first one I ever watched was actually from 1910. It's like a 10-minute short.
You told me that.
It's on YouTube, and I recommend looking it up. It's 10 minutes long.
And who made it?
Thomas Edison. And it's
Thomas Edison
fascinating. It's silent, so maybe put on some music in the background. But it's fascinating because of, if you look, they did like some stop motion techniques and things like that. It's actually really cool. So he like makes a monster, and then it has very little actual appearance to the story. Frankenstein 1931. This is the one with Boris Karloff as the monster. This is the one where that everyone gets that idea of Frankenstein with the kind of flat head and the black hair and the bolts in his and also the first appearance of Igor, his manservant, not a character in the book, right? They basically rob graves, get these bodies together, and pull the lever, right? And lightning comes down, brings him to life, and he's just this like mindless monster. Escapes from the laboratory and ends up killing this little girl because he finds the monster finds this little girl by this pond, and this little girl's like throwing rocks in, to the water, and Frankenstein starts throwing rocks too, and then just like grabs the girl, just yeets her into the pond. And so they end up chasing him into a windmill and burning the windmill down, and that's the end of the movie. It's actually part one of a 2-part movie where in 1935 they came up with Bride of Frankenstein. It picks up right at the end of that, where this guy comes to Frankenstein. He's like, I've been doing the same work you've been doing. We're going to create a woman, and basically blackmails Frankenstein because he's like, I can't figure this out on my own. So he blackmails Frankenstein into creating a bride. And then Frankenstein's monster shows back up, and he's learned how to talk. And he's also on board with the getting a Bride of Frankenstein. And again, this is where the kind of like big head of black hair with the gray streaks, that imagery, that's from Bride of Frankenstein. So these first 2 movies, which I think they go together, so they're like a part 1 and part 2. So I put them together for my ranking. Is really like a lot of the imagery we think of when we think of Frankenstein in popular media is from these first 2 movies, and they're actually real good. I would recommend watching. They're great, and they're like an hour and a half each, so they're not super long. But what ends up happening is he brings the bride to life. Frankenstein's monster is all hyped up, and the Bride of Frankenstein looks at him and is like, "Nope, not having any of this," and runs away. And so Frankenstein's like, "Cool, nothing to live for." So he lets Victor escape because Victor didn't want to do it, and grabs like the evil doctor and says, "Yeah, we're all gonna die here," and it all blows up. And so the bride, Frankenstein's monster, and the evil doctor all die in a horrible explosion at the end of the movie. That's the end of the movie. Yeah, a lot of these are pretty dark. 1957, Peter Cushing, a.k.a. Grand Moff Tarkin. Now, what was interesting about this one, which was that's Victor Frankenstein is like evil. He's a bad dude. He's like murdering people to get his body parts, but he ends up like damaging the brain. And so Frankenstein's monster ends up like killing people. And what ends up happening is he ends up fighting with the monster, accidentally shoots Elizabeth. She lives, but accidentally shoots Elizabeth, and the monster falls into like a vat of acid and dissolves. But then he gets blamed. Frankenstein gets blamed for Justine's murder, and so Elizabeth and his best friend, who was like, "Don't do this," come meet him in jail, and he's telling the story to the jailers, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't believe you." And he's like, "Oh, tell him, William, my friend." And William's like, "Yeah, he's crazy." So Victor gets executed. That's the 57 one. 94, which is the one I recommend you watch if you want like a really more faithful adaptation. 91 or the new 2025 one, although again I have issues with both of them. Kenneth Branagh directed this one. And this one actually follows the story of like it's the ship in the ice, and Frankenstein like gives the story, and it mostly follows it. And this is the one where you actually see Frankenstein's part of him, or Frankenstein's monster, like growing up near the cottage and things like that. And he actually accidentally kills the little brother. But it still follows like the same thing. He says, "Make me a bride." Frankenstein says, "I'm not going to do it." Chases Frankenstein to the Arctic. Frankenstein dies, and the monster says, "Okay, cool, done living." Then we get into the stinkers. So that's all the ones I watched from the last century. All the ones I watched from this century were pretty trash. Oh, I watched Young Frankenstein, 1974, which was really funny. It's Mel Brooks. It's good. It is good. It's pretty good. 2004. Oh my gosh. Now, apparently it's like a made-for-TV movie, but it's like a reinterpretation where it's modern day, and it's like these cops chasing down this serial killer who like cuts people up and like transplants those organs to try to make a superhuman. It was really bad. Weird. Man, it was bad. So it's like Victor Frankenstein learns to live forever by like stealing people's hearts, and he's like 2 hearts and 4 lungs, and blah, blah, blah. And the guy who ends up helping them is his original monster's like, "Yeah, that guy sucks. I'm gonna help you catch him." So that's it was bad. But then the worst one. So I would rank them. The best one was 1994. Okay. Probably it's just a good movie, really faithful adaptation, really good acting, and you actually get to see Frankenstein's monster side of the story. Like it does a really good job of that part. Then honestly, original Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, really solid. And again, you'll watch it and be like, "Oh, that's what that's from. Oh, that's what that's from. Oh, that's what that's from." Then probably Curse of Frankenstein, because Peter Cushing just does a phenomenal job. Although I do think it makes Victor Frankenstein a little too evil, which we'll talk about in my second part. Then Young Frankenstein, which was good. Then the 2025 version with the new one is probably the second closest adaptation, although again it has some issues, which for the adaptation part we'll talk about that a little more. Then Frankenstein, I went these next two, like Frankenstein 04 and this next one, I Frankenstein from 2011, are both just so bad. Now Frankenstein 04 was like just not even close to what Frankenstein is. It was just like, oh, the serial killer who lives forever, and it was just bad. Frankenstein, I Frankenstein with the guy who plays
Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent,
Yeah.
Aaron Eckhart. Aaron Eckhart is Frankenstein's monster, who ends up getting the name Adam. Okay, so Adam, it picks up
They just start
right
calling him
after
Adam.
Adam has run Frankenstein down and killed Frankenstein, and then he gets attacked by demons from hell.
Solid.
Yeah. He gets attacked by demons from hell. He fights them off, and then these angels come up and they call themselves the gargoyles, and they're like, "Hey, there's been this war between heaven and hell. You're on our side now." And he's like, "No, I fight for myself." And so it's just like this whole war where,
like the Noah
where this
movie.
one demon prince is trying to get Frankenstein's diary so he can bring all these bodies back to life. So then a bunch of demons can possess the dead bodies so he can create an army. That's the plot of this movie. It's so bad. It was terrible. My goodness. What were they thinking? I Frankenstein. Do not watch it. It was doo-doo. But anyways, so I watched a bunch of different Frankenstein, and it was just interesting to see. It's one of those things like Sherlock Holmes, where there's just so many different iterations of it throughout the years, and it was just really interesting to see what the common threads were and what kind of gets left behind and what gets focused on. And I'm going to talk about them more again in the adaptations, but I'll just say one of the things that you see a lot in the book, it's fairly even-handed that Victor Frankenstein is not like an evil dude. But in most of the adaptations, he's kind of an evil dude. Oh, that was the one I forgot. I watched the 2015 Victor Frankenstein with Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy. Also, so terrible. So terrible. What a bad movie. Mamma mia. Anyways.
All right.
I was like, I knew I watched 10. Yeah.
That's
so I
so
watched 10 Frankensteins.
Jeez.
It's a lot
All
of
the
movies.
ones from the last century were good to quite good. All the ones from this century were bad to abysmal, with the exception of the 2025 one, which was good.
Noted.
Interesting. Man.
Yeah, it was.
I need to go back and watch some of the Frankenstein movies.
You know,
'cause
that
I think
31
I've only seen like one or two of the actual ones, and then obviously
Yeah,
Young Frank.
Makes me
My
think of Van
highest
Helsing.
recommendations. Yeah, my highest recommendations would be the '94 Kenneth Branagh one, and then 31 and 35, really solid, like old movies, really good.
Solid.
interesting.
Marco.
Yes. Do you want to switch with me?
Oh yeah, that's right.
We can do the
Uh-oh.
image. So let's switch real quick.
Trade places.
All right. It's time for Weatherman Marco.
Weatherman Marco, hit him
Yes.
with it. Hit him with the weather.
So I watched a movie called The Thrash. And
Already
this
sounds
movie
amazing.
is the knockoff.
What do you
Time
think you're
now for
doing?
your weather update with Weatherman Marco.
That's this guy.
Hell yeah.
All right. So
Nice.
as he gets up this image, I'm going to explain the movie, and then once we get to the image, I'll explain the image and why it's so bad. So this movie is basically about a hurricane that pushes all this water from the ocean into land, but also bringing sharks. That's the whole point of the movie.
That checks out.
Yeah, it's the hurricane version of Sharknado. It's basically what this movie is about. Now, from a meteorologist standpoint, this movie is really bad. It is so bad.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, we're
shocked.
So
We're all
there's a
shocked
couple
to find
I
things.
can't
this out.
believe they didn't do their homework.
There are a couple things that are so glaringly obviously bad that I'll touch on, and then I'll touch on this image that he's about to show. The first thing is, during the entirety of this movie, it's supposedly like the storm of the century, and it's the biggest storm ever, and there's no wind. There is
whoops.
a ton of rain, and there's floodwaters coming in like 5 mile an hour winds. Like maybe there's a few times when you see like a leaf go by or whatever. Like that's it.
Umbrellas are the solution to
Dude,
this
it-
Clearly, like,
hurricane.
just get a boat and an umbrella and you will be fine.
It was so funny the whole time. I'm waiting for like the whiteout wind, and what they call like whiteout is when you get to a point when it's so windy that all you're seeing is just white because all the rain's going by. It's called whiteout, and nothing. Literally, like a few leaves go by, and they're falling in like this direction. Like they're kind of just like. It's like
They
like
make
a
a point to point the
slightly
leaves
breezy
out.
day.
They're
Yeah,
just like,
it's like a slightly breezy
we had
day.
power outages on Sunday because it was so windy that there were trees falling
Yes.
on power lines, and that was just wind.
Yes.
No rain.
No rain. But yeah, anyway, so there was that. All right. So one of the things that I really wanted to focus on is a specific image that they showed in the movie. In the very beginning portions of the movie, when they're doing the forecasting of this movie, they talk about this could be the storm to like create a Category 6. I get it. I understand they need to create the drama. There's never going to be such a thing as a Category 6 hurricane. It just doesn't exist.
Speak
It
for
won't
yourself.
exist. But this image, if you can move
May
the
I
screen
try
just
to
a-
guess what's wrong with it?
are you do you have the one without the
All right, so I mean, I will pull it up when you want to pull it up. Do you want to show the people?
Yeah,
now?
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead
pull
and
it up.
pull it up.
All right, so
And-
we're gonna pull up this.
so this image here is it is a screenshot. I took this image.
At first, I thought it just said trash.
True.
So on this image, you will see a number of things that is incorrect. The NHC, or the National Hurricane Center, has two different things or technically it's three, but in this particular case, it's two different things that they're actually showing. On the top left, you'll see two icons: the NOAA, the NOAA on the left,
Oh yeah,
And-
I know. We worked with them in Miami.
and the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. There's two different things happening here. When it comes to that image right there, there's no reason why Central Pacific Hurricane Center should be noted, because they're not in the Central Pacific. They're just not.
Wrong coast, fellas.
Yeah, terrible. Terrible.
Got a couple of coasts. Just pick the wrong one.
Literally a 50-50, and they got it wrong.
So, okay. So now what I want you to do, that's just the first thing. So now I want you to do is show that other image.
All right, we're gonna bring this guy over. Bear with me.
You're fine.
And it was Hurricane Henry. Henry, how could you?
Henry, okay.
All right, so now we got new
Now you're
image.
seeing a whole bunch of different things that I notated on the screen that are wrong. So pretty much everything.
I'm guessing they got all the speeds wrong for a Cat 4.
Everything is wrong.
Everything you just said is the wrong thing.
So like I said, top left, two icons shouldn't be there. Should only be one. In this particular case, the NOAA one. Okay, so a couple of things. They, I think, are trying to indicate that the red blotch around Hurricane Henry is the wind field, I think. In reality, the NHC, they have a couple of ways that they can indicate a storm. The first one is I'll talk about the hatched area, which is the red bubble that's around Henry. That indicates where a storm
You need a laser
could
pointer.
happen.
Yeah.
Right? So the red is, you'll see it on the bottom right of the screen as well.
Also, it says
it's
it's about to hit the
70%, I believe,
coast,
or
but is it-
60%.
Yeah, has it not already hit the coast at this point of South Carolina? It looks like it's covering all
Well-
of South Carolina.
Well,
all the way down to
technically
Florida.
no. And the reason for that, this is why it's so wrong. Technically no, because a hurricane, especially a Category 4, is likely hurricane speeds about 60 miles away from the center of the storm.
sure.
Hurricane wind speeds. That's it. That's it. I mean, yeah, the tropical storm force winds go way, way out typically.
Sure.
But about 60 miles from the center is typically where a hurricane is, where the
But
hurricane
it's a
wind speeds are.
superstorm.
But it's not, because it's only a Category 4 in this image. Which is bringing me to the next block. So that big block there, you'll see
Of text.
There's so many things wrong with this. Starting with, and I'll just be nitpicky about it. The NHC, when it comes to hurricanes, they send out 4 updates per day, unless there is a special update. But that's irrelevant. They typically come out in 4 updates per day: 5 a.m., 11 a.m., 5 p.m., 11 p.m. That's how that
So
works.
the time is wrong.
So the time's wrong at 6 o'clock. That's wrong. Number one.
They got up late that day.
The next thing, advisory number 19. Okay. The only time that is actually an advisory number is when there is a storm that isn't named yet. And it is just advisory number, insert number until the storm is named. And then it's advisory for, hurricane whatever, tropical storm whatever. In this particular case, already named. The next thing, the minimum wind speeds. Think about that. Why? Why is there something for minimum wind speeds? Because if you go
Surely
further
the
enough,
minimum wind speed is 0.
yeah, if you go far enough from the center, it's 0. The answer is 0.
It has to.
Well, according to this,
You can't.
In this particular
the
case,
minimum wind is 103 miles an
it
hour.
will never be lower than 103 miles an hour. Which brings me to my
That's
next
true.
point.
No, it's true.
The NHC does everything in knots.
Mm.
When that happens,
It did have knots on there.
Correct. When that happens, you will get odd rounding errors. In this particular case, the 90 knots to, I think it says 103.
Yeah.
It's a little far from me, but I think it says 90 and 103. That's pretty accurate, right? The problem is that the NHC rounds
right.
up or down based on the digit of 5 or 0. So it rounds to either 5 or 0.
True.
So in this case, it would just round up to 95 or 105 rather.
105.
Okay. So there are no 103s, 192s, none of that. It's just 190, 195, 105, 110. It's all fives, integers of 5. Which brings me to my last hilarious point. This thing is fucking zooming at 50 some odd miles an hour.
So the storm itself is
center of
going,
the eye, the center of the eye is fucking zooming.
hey, it will not get pulled over on an interstate highway.
Brother, this thing is going. And according to that box, it's also read me that the number of miles per hour is 172.
All right, it's 172. So it's
Okay.
it's 150 knots, and then 172 miles per hour.
Okay, so 172
moving
is a category
west
5.
northwest at 15.
That thing is
It's
fucking
moving.
zooming.
You gotta moving, baby.
You gotta read it to
That's what
believe
we call
it. you know?
schmoovement.
So it's a category 4 according to the
That's
according
the
to
category
the image.
6, is that it's moving at 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It actually
Well,
doesn't get
okay.
any faster spinning. It just
So
moves
there
really
are
fast.
storms. There are storms that move very, very fast, like 40 and 50, potentially 60 miles per hour. The problem is that they're never happening right there. That area will not have the ability to send a storm that quickly. When you get up near like Iceland and Greenland area and Newfoundland and all that, there are streams of low pressure and high pressure systems that will yeet a storm. The problem with that is as they're doing that, it's just obliterating the storm.
Sure.
The wind speed, the momentum of the storm and the wind speeds, they can't catch up with one another, and then it evaporates the storm. Basically, is the idea. I just can't get past the fact that it is a category 4 with 170 something miles an hour winds, which is a category 5. Let it be known, at max speeds of 58 miles per hour. So
Marco, that's what we call a
Here's the-
category 6.
here's the other thing about that. So the way that the hurricanes are categorized is based on the wind speed, not the momentum of the actual storm. So what I mean is when a storm is going, let's say 5 miles per hour, which is about average storm for that general area, if it is moving from west to east or whatever the case is, the side of the storm that the wind is also going west to east, it'll say, let's say it's 100 miles per hour, but the motion of the storm is actually 5 miles per hour. Technically, the winds are going 105. You have to add those two together. That's why a lot of times the north side of the storm is a lot more strenuous or a lot stronger than the south side of the storm if the storm is going from east to west. Fun facts.
Wow, interesting.
Couple other things to note, not on this image. You could put it back to whatever screen. Couple other things to note about the actual movie itself. They talk about
Are there sharks in the hurricane, like Sharknado?
yeah. There's a whole bunch of bull sharks, and then there's like one
Bull shark.
great white
White.
shark that eats the bull shark. And it's hilarious. Anyways, a couple other meteorological things that are in this movie. I can't say that word.
Is that a word?
Meteorological, yeah.
That's the one. A couple other things that they talk about in this particular movie that are either A, plausible, or B, likely, is the storm surge height that they talk about is like 25 to 30 foot, which is pretty accurate, right? So when Hurricane Katrina hit, if my memory serves me right, I think it was 32 feet
It's a big
of
surge.
storm surge. plus the levees broke, which in this particular movie, they also talk about the levees breaking. That's fine. That's plausible. That's a big one. Yes, but it's plausible.
Storm of the Century. So
Storm of the Century,
You a little,
category 6, whatever you want to
give
call
him
it.
a little leeway there for
Sure,
the Storm of the Century.
Fine. And then they talk about the wave height of the storm. So during a storm that is in the Atlantic versus the Gulf, the Atlantic is a little bit more difficult, albeit sometimes it does happen, a little bit more difficult to cause waves that are higher in height. And the reason for that is the depth of the ocean. Whereas
The
on the
ocean
Gulf
is a deep
side,
place.
yes, on the Gulf side, because it's a little bit more shallow, the waves, they pick up, right? So Katrina, I think, had like 30 or 40 foot waves. There were a couple on the Atlantic side, a little higher. Sandy, I believe, was like over 100 feet. So like when they say 60-foot waves or whatever it is that they said in the movie, possible. I could see it. It's just what really is the big thing that really gets you in this movie is, yes, there's a ton of water. There's this and that. There's zero wind. It blew my mind. It completely blew my mind. Anyways, that's my update. I just wanted to rip on that one very specific image. There's a whole bunch of different things in that movie that were just wrong. But that one is like, it was so egregious. I had to literally, I was watching it. I was watching it with me, my wife, and a couple of our friends, and we were watching it, and it came up on the screen. I'm like, and then it was really quick too. It was like, hey, yeah, and this is, if they ever thought about making a category 6, this is it. and they showed this image.
A category 4 that's actually a category 5 that's moving at 50 miles an hour. That's a category 6. He speaks truth. I don't see the problem, Marco.
They showed that.
I thought you were a
They were like,
weatherman.
they gave the paper to the guy that's holding it in the image, and it was like not even a second and a half on the page. And I'm like, wait, go back. I'm like,
hold on a
wait
second.
Wait a minute.
Anyways, that's my weatherman update. I thought it was hilarious. Terrible movie. Let it be known. They tried to
I'm
be
shocked.
serious in a movie that's just not. It just isn't. But they tried to be serious. Anyways, that's my update.
It is who we thought
Weatherman
it
Marco.
was.
I'm gonna let him
Hey.
So, I mean, like,
Time
this is
now
what
for your
frustrates me.
weather
Is like
update
we're
with Weatherman
if that
Marco.
comes out in like 1970, it's like, okay, what are you looking at? You're looking at an encyclopedia. Maybe you read it wrong about the hurricane information. You Google what are the wind speeds for a Cat 5 hurricane, and you just add 50%. Boom, Cat 6 hurricane. It's not that hard. I did it in 30 seconds. It's so bad, and there's like this attention to detail is just non-existent. They're just because, and that's what I think they had to have just been like, ChatGPT, write me a category like hurricane thing, and so ChatGPT just blooped that out, and it's all wrong.
It was one of those movies where I'm just like, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, I can't not
And that
see it.
that just tells you like nobody cared about this movie when they were making
The thing was that they were trying to be so serious about the movie and they just couldn't get it. And it was just that bad. But anyways, that's my segment. Greg, you're up.
All right, guys. It's about time we touch on this topic. This is a question I've gotten
once.
my whole life, honestly. Ever
Is
since
he
I was
ginger?
born. Ever since I was born, I got this question. All right. What's your favorite Star Wars? And you know what I always used to say? It's like picking your favorite kid. You can't pick one.
Yeah, you can.
And then the prequels came out, and I was like, I still can't. I'm a prequels fan. I'm a defender. I defend the prequels, right? So they made the 6 Star Wars movies, and then still the questions, they came. What's your favorite Star Wars? What's the best Star Wars? Can't pick them, man. You can't pick them. They're all good. And you know what happened after that?
Disney.
Star Wars sold its freaking soul, and they made 20
Oh my God.
20 other rateable Star Wars things. All right, what I mean by things, I'm not including games,
TV shows,
movies, and then I'm including animated like cartoon stuff. So there are, as part of my research, if there's like some weird obscure one and you're like, you didn't include the Disney special, well, I don't know. Okay, these are the 26 that I know.
Star
of.
Wars Holiday Special on there.
It's not on there.
Boom.
It's not technically in
Big
canon,
fan.
so I apologize.
Actually, it is.
I am going to rank all of these.
Oh boy.
All 26.
Oh, boy.
You're gonna need to give me.
play along.
You're gonna need to give me.
Give me a pen, please.
No.
Best.
No.
Greg, why does this?
There's a Sharpie right there. That's the best you're gonna get. I'm gonna need some give me some Cantina bar music. Turn it real low and just let it ride. The whole time.
Well, go ahead and start your segment
Okay,
or whatever.
that's fine.
but I'll,
All right, so I'm going to start at number 26, and I will slowly work my way up. I imagine the top 6 will be the most interesting because, again, this will be the first time ever in my life I've actually rated these top 6 movies. I have not seen all of these.
Oh, so you? Oh, okay.
I will rank some of these based off of what I know about them, and some of them just based off of what I know about the other movies that I've watched, and just be like, it can't be that bad. All right, so without further ado,
yeah.
we have number 26 out of 26. Do we all want to say it together?
The Acolyte.
The Last,
Last Jedi, yeah.
Jedi. This movie, let's talk about 25. All right.
The Acolyte.
It's
No, it's Palpatine.
25 is The Rise of Skywalker. These two movies together in conjuncture. I'm not sure if that's a word. If it's conjunction. There we go. Whatever. These two movies in conjunction, have ruined so many everythings. So many dreams. They have broken me to where now I'm rating my children. This is awful. It's just an awful thing. Awful movies. I mean, someday I'll just do an entire segment on The Last Jedi and talk about how bad it is. Number 24, Solo, a Star Wars story.
I think Acolyte's worse than Solo, but
I've never. Do you watch The Acolyte?
I watched enough of it to know that it's worse
I
than
didn't
Solo.
watch any of it. I know a lot about it, and it's pretty low on my list, but it's, whatever. I had to put the ones that I've seen that caused me personal pain before I went for the ones that are unseen that I know were just dog water. All right, so, Star Wars, a solo Star Wars story. Man, this movie is so bad in so many reasons. How do you ruin Lando Calrissian? How do you ruin the Riz?
No Rizzler.
The Rizzler. I mean, he is, and he rizzes back. He just dripping Riz, and they're like, yeah, he's sexually attracted to robots. I'm like, come on.
I have a serious question. Is that how they got the term Riz?
It's short for charisma.
It's short for. He thought it actually came from Lando Calrissian. I actually like that version better.
Lando Calrissian.
Lando Calrissian.
Because
I like that better.
He was, smooth
he was
and
It's
whatnot.
Billy D.
The old
Williams.
smoothie.
Billy D. Williams is that guy.
He is just Riz in embodied.
Rizzler.
All right, the Rizzler. All right, then we have Star Wars, Deport Clay Aiken. The Force Awakens. You see that bit where they were just asking, like, hey, how do you feel about, and they would just always muddle the word. How do you feel about Star Wars, The Force and Shaken? How do you feel about Star Wars, Deport Clay Aiken? And people just not even like, yeah, that sounds great.
Deport Clay Aiken.
Deport Clay Aiken was my favorite. The Force Awakens, this movie got progressively bad after Rise of Skywalker and TLJ, just because it just started the trajectory of just Star Wars into the ground. Absolutely awful. No plan whatsoever. Just living off of the nostalgia of a great franchise. It just made me sick after enough time. Then at number 22, we come to The Acolyte. I have not seen this movie. This TV show.
It's atrocious.
I've
It makes the
seen
Jedi the
enough
bad guys.
clips from it, and
makes
I
the
know the
Sith the
theme.
good guys. It's bad.
I think the
It's bad,
biggest
bad, bad.
takeaway you can have from this is that this is actually what murdered Star Wars. Like, this happened, and Star Wars had big problems. They were like, shoot, we have to cancel the second season of this. We have to cancel the second season of a couple of other shows, and they took a huge creative directional change after this because it was that bad. It was like this murdered a whole lot of things. So
That's why I put it low.
yes, that's where I put it low too. And I haven't actually watched the show in its entirety, so I do think that you should do that if you're going to critique something. But I've watched enough of the clips. Obi-Wan Kenobi comes in at 21. Man, this one it's honestly, it might not be quite as bad as some of the other ones.
It's just as bad.
But the problem is that it was such a layup of content. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi is the greatest. He's my favorite character in Star Wars. And he has such a, what an easy story to tell. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi, dig into his past and all the things that are going on. He's sitting there watching Luke grow up. We have, it's a layup. And we open up with baby Leia doing
Running away from
parkour
Flea.
while Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers is
Stumbling like a
stumbling
moron.
and falling down, and these aliens are like, wow, we can't get her. And so many moments in that show were just like that. You have this weird Sith lady that has like the spinny lightsaber. She has a story of some kind. Not interesting at
Nobody
all.
cares.
I'm like, dog, like there's not supposed to be any other. Stop inserting Jedis and Sith into the world that was supposed to kind of just be Vader and then like the few outlying like Jedi that are being hunted down and killed.
Dave Filoni ruined everything. Just gonna say it. Clone Wars was fun, but Dave Filoni ruined a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I would put Acolyte and Ahsoka and Obi-Wan. They're all like really, really bad shows, and they all damage the franchise. But arguably, Obi-Wan is worse because it
took an existing
it not
character
only
and
does
tried
that,
to-
not only takes an existing character, but also like denigrates a great character like retroactively, stains it. Whereas like Acolyte and Ahsoka don't really do that. Although they had to change Acolyte so bad, they had Ki-Adi-Mundi in there before he was supposed to be alive. So Wikipedia was like, no, we definitely changed it. He's definitely alive then, but he wasn't.
Gosh. So next I have Ahsoka Tana. It's just called Ahsoka.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
And well,
I
that
did
was the one
watch
where we
some of
found out that one in Obi-Wan taught us that lightsaber stabs are not fatal.
Yeah, there was a lot of lightsaber stabbing in quite a few of these. It felt like where people were just kind of surviving lightsaber stabs. Not a big deal. We get to a big chunk here of things I haven't seen. Most of these animated, and I just listed them in terms of what I've heard about them and names. So at 19, we have Young Jedi Adventures. At 18, we have Star Wars Vision. At number 17, we have Tales of the Empire. Number 16, we have Tales of the Jedi. At number 15, we have The Bad Batch. Number 14, we have Star Wars Resistance. Number 13, we have Star Wars Rebels. Number 12, we have Star Wars Skeleton Crew. This is one that I think is about to be released or has just been released.
It's out.
This is not an animated one, but I haven't seen it.
I
put it this high because I don't know anything about it yet, and I haven't heard anything terrible yet. So
It was supposedly fine.
okay.
Just fine.
Then we have back on to Greg has seen these now. Number 11, Book of Boba Fett.
I would have put that much lower.
But I haven't seen any of those other ones. I have no idea. Maybe those are all worse. Book of Boba Fett was effectively a nothing burger. You watched it. And
It
there
was pretty trash.
You just watched a bunch of random nostalgia things happen. There's just like a lot of like unnecessary like.
I really feel like they kind of gutted Boba Fett as a character in that one.
Well,
he does
but
nothing.
he's
just
not-
like an old man. And also changed, tried to make
Well, let me make a point about Boba
Tusken
Fett.
Raiders.
I don't really like Boba Fett as a character. Isn't really anything. He was just a guy who like he was a cool, ambiguous bounty hunter. But then he died in the Sarlacc pit, and they're like, okay, well, we need to resurrect him. That's the most offensive part. But now that you've resurrected him, I don't like. There's not really any
he's just
destroying.
an
his
old man who doesn't understand how crime works. He's like, I'm the crime lord. Now let me fix everything here. Like, dog, how do you think crime works?
I'm not saying that this is good. 11 is a very bad rating, considering there's really just a top 6, or maybe there's a top 8. We'll see.
This is wide gulf between
Yes,
Andor and everything below Andor.
The next one is I have The Mandalorian. I had this one in Clone Wars kind of flip-flopping back and forth. I went with The Mandalorian as lower because it just tails off so bad. The beginning, the first season, not bad. I don't think it's terrible. It's got a lot of cool Star Wars-y things. It introduces him. He doesn't take his helmet off yet. It introduces Mandalore culture that they're like, hey, this is a big deal. You get your what's the armor called?
Beskar.
Beskar armor. That's like that can even deflect like a lightsaber. It's a very intense
Becomes
armor.
way too OP though.
and they're like, you don't take off your helmet. Nobody can see you without. This is the way. This is the way. You know, they have that. This is their term. So it introduces some cool things, and then it just seasons 2 and 3 just totally move away from all that, and it just becomes a Grogu film, and it's just really bizarre. Didn't
Speaking
like
of
it.
Grogu film,
Yeah.
first one in what 7 or 9 years.
We'll see. We'll add it to the list once it comes out. Now we have Star Wars Clone Wars. I never got anywhere further than past like halfway through season 1. I had so many friends telling me, "Oh, it's worth watching, worth watching."
It's so ugly.
I don't like the animation. It looks gross.
ugly.
They all look like cockroaches. They really do.
It was hard for me to get over that.
Especially Count Dooku. Count
Oh my
Dooku
God.
looks
he's
like
got like a perfectly square face. Is like, nah.
Count
What is going on with his
Dooku
face?
looks like a tiki torch. Like he looks like a tiki character.
You know what he
Like,
looks like? He looks like the freaking Transformers logo, or like a.
Yeah.
He looks like a Bionicle.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
It's
so bad.
really, really rough. The animation is bad. As a kid, I probably would have really liked it and gotten into it because I was so into Star Wars. I had Star Wars encyclopedias, and I was interested in just learning the lore in the background, and I loved the best people in Star Wars knowledge. I could care less now. Now I would never go back and watch that. Now we get into actual. This is
good.
where I would take a
Huge
step.
gap.
Yes.
Huge gap.
So that from 26 to 9. And to be honest, there's probably even a gap like after like 26 to 22 are like absolutely horrendous. And then it's like a huge gap. And then 21 to 9 are all floating around in the lower to middle. And then now there's a big jump to these are actually good things. These are things I would recommend you go watch, especially. Well, actually, my number 8, and this is maybe this is I actually have Rogue One as number 8, and I put Andor one spot above that. So
Yeah, I had those switched personally.
yeah, so I have Rogue One. This is a story that takes place in between episodes 3 and episodes 4. In my opinion, it's good enough to watch in your sequence. If you're gonna go and watch through all the Star Wars, throw this one in there. Be like, I'm going to watch this after episode 3, before episode 4. It's that good. There are very few things that you can nitpick about it.
Is this the one where they go and get the actual plans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
I
like-
thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It's a great movie, and it doesn't like. It's such a pain. It's such a pain because they did such a good job on really something that doesn't carry a whole lot of weight.
Yeah.
You're like, all of these characters are introduced,
And
all
they
the characters
guaranteed to die.
You also know how the ending turns out, but they still told a good story. And so, like, visually, it's beautiful, really cool space fighting right outside of the
And then
planet.
the Darth Vader.
The
moment.
Darth Vader moment
So
at the
good.
end is bone chilling. Awesome movie. And it's only eclipsed as far as outside the top 6 by a prequel to that movie called Andor. It's a TV series. There are 2 seasons. Excellent. This is the one where you don't even need Star Wars knowledge at all. Like, you could just watch this and be like, this is a cool heist, I guess you'd call. I mean, there are so many
Spy
different
thriller,
yeah.
espionage thriller.
It really starts off. I mean, it starts off with, hey, I want to execute this plan to go and to I'm not going to spoil everything, but the plan goes wrong, gets put in jail, then gets out of jail, then becomes like the leader of a kind of a rebellion type thing, and he comes high up in this rebellion, and then that leads right into what he's doing in this is Cassian Andor. He's the leader of the smuggler crew that goes and gets the plans. Leads right up to what he's going to do in Rogue One. It's excellent. It's real good. It's intriguing. It's done really well, acted well, visuals are good. Definitely should watch.
Yeah, people say, one of the biggest complaints is that it doesn't feel like Star Wars. And there's a sense in which I agree.
Yeah.
But also, it's just a good standalone show.
That's what I
even
would
if you
say.
don't consider it like, oh, it's not really Star Wars, it's still good and worth watching.
Yeah, I wouldn't put this in the necessarily of like, oh, you should watch this in the rotation of like you should watch it through when you're watching episodes 1, 2, and 3, then watch Andor, then watch. No,
Yeah.
like keep it as its own standalone show. You can throw Rogue
But it
One
was
into that
definitely
mix,
worth watching.
but it's very worth watching. Very cool show. So now we're gonna get to the really interesting ones. Now we've got the top 6. These are
This is where we're going to disagree.
this is we'll probably have a lot of disagreements. And
It's all right. It's all right. Don't,
Jeez.
it's okay. It's okay.
Amateur hour over here.
It went to an ad.
All right.
Amateur hour. That's what I'm saying.
So now we are going to get
We're not getting paid for
into.
that ad.
Now we're going to get into
Top 6. All right, come on.
We can cut the music now because now we might make a clip out of this, and I want to have to chop up all the audio, make Marco's job harder. Looking out for you.
Appreciate you.
All right. So number 6, Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
Okay.
Same.
I think there are a lot of great things about
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie. I think that this movie gets
there's just one really,
it gets crapped on a whole lot
really bad
because
part.
granted, the largest through line of this one is it's supposed to be the one where Padme and Anakin find their love for each other, right? They're introduced in episode 1. In episode 3, they're already together. So this is about how did they get together, and that part is
rough.
it's not even that it's not even like, oh, you didn't do it right. It's like you just didn't even really care that much. He was just like, yep, and they talked and they liked each other and we're done. And I'm like,
I hate sand.
Sand.
Of course, irritating.
All of their scenes together, very cringy. I've heard people try to salvage it. Well, it's he's supposed to be awkward. No, it's just really bad writing. You can do a good job with that stuff, and it just wasn't done well. I don't think Hayden Christensen is a terrible actor.
Nope.
I don't
It's
think
just-
Natalie
it's just
Portman
some
is a
of-
terrible actor.
It's just bad dialogue.
I just think that they were given scripts that are like, then look over, then laugh at the person, and then say, no, I would never do that. And then you're going to say, oh, and then you're going to, it's like, that's probably what they were looking at. I mean, it's pretty hard to make that turn into something. Outside of that, if that element is gone, I think this movie skyrockets up my list. I think the music is amazing. Across the Stars, incredible song music by John Williams. It's permeated throughout the whole entire thing. Jango Fett's introduced. He's an incredibly cool character. There's awesome fight scenes between him and Obi-Wan. There's space battles between him and Obi-Wan. The fighting scene at the end of the Coliseum, the introduction of the clone troopers. Very, very cool. You get to see Master Yoda fight for really the first time ever with a lightsaber. I mean, you've always kind of teased it, growing up watching 4, 5, and 6. It's the first time you really get to see him fight. It's all CGI now, but I remember at the time that being a big deal, and I still try to hold it to that. Awesome movie. Number 5, Episode 1.
Yep.
The Phantom Menace.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Interesting.
So I could go back. So I have at 4, I have Episode 3, and I could go back and forth on those two. I could flip those.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we're gonna really disagree on that.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
okay.
I have original trilogy above the prequels all day every day.
Okay. So I have Phantom Menace at 5. I really like, just on a personal level, this is one of my absolute favorites. Jar Jar brings it down quite a bit. It's not even that like you can't have a character that's just goofy. Like George Lucas typically does that in Episode 6. I mean, he has Ewoks, whatever the one Wicket, the one Ewok that's following him around the whole time. He's charming and cute, and he's for the kids. They all love him, and you kind of feel that way about Jar Jar. He's a klutz. He's making fun of himself.
Charming.
Well, and they just use him way too much.
Yeah.
And it's in every scene. He just happens to be there all the time, and then he's just wiped away. They're like, yeah, we're not going to talk about Jar Jar again. So, other than that, so many. I mean, Darth Maul, the lightsaber fight scene in this movie, and the introduction of Duel of Fates, the music that the John Williams creates, absolutely epic. I mean, I love Anakin getting in the plane and going and like saving the day. In the space battle, the pod racing is very cool.
That's a good move.
A lot of cool. The Gungan fight is very visually cool. I mean, I really would like seeing that. I remember the first time. Awesome movie. All right, here's controversy. Number 4, I have Episode 4. This is the first one ever come out. This is A New Hope. This is getting into splitting hair categories. I think this movie is absolutely incredible. It's amazing. It introduces some of the greatest characters to ever exist: Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Leia Organa. The trash compactor scene, great scene. Where could he be? Where could he be? 3PO. The trench run at the end. My favorite scenes in any Star Wars is them getting the medals at the very end of the movie. It's just epic. I just want to stand up and salute every time that happens. Han Solo flying back in and saving the day. His character development, incredible. Awesome movie. I like Episode 3. Episode 3 is taking my number 3 spot. I think that this is a challenging movie to do. I know that Nathaniel and I disagree on how quickly Anakin moves. I am firmly okay, and I've never had a problem with that, with the understanding that the dark side is an influence in some way. It's a pathway to many consider unnatural. No, the dark side is it blurs like what can happen, and like the things that how it works. That like, okay, yes, you're a normal person, but you've been twisted and corrupted by this thing, and so now all of a sudden, like, you can make that jump from I'm a normal guy to I'm killing kids. Do it. That's the do it.
That was the code word. It was like Winter Soldier.
Anyways, I love that. I think it's a really difficult thing to pin those two together. I'm going to speed up. I understand we're getting kind of behind. To pin the old to the new, and I think they did that perfectly. And a lot of movies really fail right at that point. Episode 3 did not. At number 2, I have Episode 5 at number 2.
Interesting.
It's funny. This is the most acclaimed out of any Star Wars movies, Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. But most Star Wars fans you talk to, and this has just been true in my life, will tell you that Episode 6 is their favorite. They'll say Episode 5 is critically the best movie.
Better movie.
But Episode 6 is what I because it's really, really hard to end a series. I mean, it's so hard to end a series. Watch The Matrix, watch Pirates of the Caribbean, watch any of these things that were amazing when they started, and you're like, we're just kind of pushing this thing, and eventually it just kind of slows down and stops. Whereas Episode 6 was like, again, you want to stand up and jump around when the Ewoks are all jumping around. Like, you finally did this thing. You redeemed Darth Vader. He still had to die because he's murdered so many people. So dude needs to die. He can't be like, hey, I'm just here dancing with you guys. Like, no. But he was redeemed. But he was redeemed before he dies. So, hey, awesome, cool. So Luke has done his thing. Luke has become a Jedi, a wise Jedi who chose to believe in hope rather than just fighting. Emperor Palpatine has been killed. The Death Star was destroyed for the second time. All of these amazing things happen, and it crescendos with amazing music that was not changed for the remakes at all, for sure. But anyways, those are my top 2. That is the correct Star Wars rankings, and
Wrong.
we have like 9 more minutes to get to 2 segments, so we'll try to speed this up. and
Greg, all I have to say to you is,
Oh boy.
it's always weird to me, like in Stranger Things. How did us, the audience, know Will was gay, yet his friends who hang out with him didn't even suspect it? Warlock 21.
Warlock 21 coming in hot.
It's the greatest Star Wars take I've ever had.
True and real. True and real.
It's so real that somebody would be
True
talking about
and
Star
real.
Wars and somebody would be like, but Will's
Wait,
not
but
gay.
Will's
like,
gay.
wait, what? That is the most accurate internet comment I've ever
So
heard.
yeah, so the only my major, obviously, I put all the main trilogy above all the prequel trilogies.
That's fine.
But I honestly could put A New Hope above Empire, just because I love it so much.
Yeah.
And I all
It's
three of
typically
those,
how that works
yeah.
for rankings. If
Yeah.
you love something so
All-
much.
But well, just going back and rewatching them, I really do. I think Empire's a phenomenal movie. But again, because it's that middle segment and it ends in a defeat, whereas both
Yeah.
New Hope and Return of the Jedi are so triumphant,
Right.
I prefer that. All right.
All right. Margaret, do
So-
you have a second segment today?
I do, but I can skip it. Just because.
What we get
it's-
into?
What was your second?
If VFX is ruining movies.
All right.
yes.
Sorry, I
No,
apologize.
no,
You can
I'll
take
do it
that.
next time.
Okay.
No, it's perfectly fine. I'll
Well,
I'll
then
make it better.
Why don't I could put a table on this and we can just read comments for the last.
Well, the problem with reading comments is eventually we're gonna run
Well,
out.
we're gonna get more.
We're gonna get more.
Yeah, but
Let's read some more comments.
Let's
read some more comments.
Let's read some more
Yeah,
comments.
that's all right.
Let's read. We'll put a cap on it. Let's each grab 3. There's a whole lot.
there are. But again, we're eventually gonna. If we're reading, how many have we read
That's
so
no
far?
chunky
You're
one.
gonna take that one.
All right,
I'm
yeah.
gonna take. Give me a little guy.
Here, take that little guy. I got a paragraph over here.
You know the law.
You know the
All
law.
right. All right. So we'll close this guy up.
Give it to me. No
Yep.
more after
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Gimme,
no
gimme.
more.
Well,
we'll get more.
as maybe it's Dan Al, but I'm reading it as Danel.
Little Danel bead.
Dude, Daniel Beads coming in hot.
This is clearly from Whiplash. Low IQ take. It's way deeper than that. The next Charlie Parker would never be discouraged. Either you want it or you don't. Thanks, Danel.
All right, so we have D Doge 6279
Yes.
These names are
coming in
terrible.
hot with a. If you're complaining about the race of a fake character from a kid's book, you might be a little racist. Like, Jesus Christ, get over it.
Oh, gee, I wonder what that was in response to.
Oh my
Actually,
god.
that segues so well into my talk
Dude.
about adaptations and what makes a good
Dude,
adaptation.
it's so funny.
We're white dudes. We're just punching bags.
Bunch
when
of
we-
nobody's
on the
talking about
internet,
nothing.
When
This
nobody's
is,
talking about
this is
anything.
this is what I have found out on the internet. Number one is if we are getting this many hate comments, we are doing something correct.
Amen,
Yes.
brother.
We are doing it correctly because the takes that we have,
Correctly.
whatever, the takes that we have are
I have to end with this one. This is
accurate
the legend.
enough that it's bothering the people that are on the other side enough to where they're commenting, but also at the same time getting replies from those that agree with us saying terrible, just bad, just shitting on the people that are shitting on us, and it is great. It is
Well,
so good.
Here's a comment that seems to actually be in favor of us.
I
From
did throw a couple
Tyler
of them in
Murray,
there.
547. It's
Oh, Kyler
an
Murray.
essay.
Nice.
It's almost always shoehorned in, like you said. But for me, the bigger issue is how these woke representative characters are written. Your non-binary characters, your gay characters, your women of color, etc. They're almost always portrayed as perfect. They have zero flaws, act as the moral authority, and somehow have all the answers immediately. That's what makes these stories brutal to get through. Real people are messy, inconsistent, and wrong sometimes. These characters aren't. They're unrelatable, overly polished, and clearly written as a blunt way of signaling that their cause is good. It doesn't feel like storytelling. It feels like a lecture. Amen, brother.
Yes.
100%.
Man, we need to have-
Absolutely.
who's the guy? We need to have him on the show.
Tyler
Yep.
Murray.
Tyler frickin' Murray,
Tyler
dude.
Murray, if you're listening to
And
this,
again, and I mentioned this, like in watch more modern shows. All the villains are white men. All the victims are black women
minority,
100%.
as minorities you can get.
Yep.
or lesbians.
They are lesbians.
lesbians.
From Den of Ace,
Dude.
4.
Den of Ace.
I don't even understand people's issue with the MCU multiverse. It's literally fine.
I don't get it. It's fine.
Literally fine
Guys,
is awesome.
I don't
Literally
get
fine.
Guys, I don't get the problem with the Titanic. It's fine.
It's
fine.
literally-
It's fine.
I don't have the problem. I don't know. You guys are having the problem with Death Star. It's literally
it's
fine.
Literally fine.
It's literally not blown up.
fine. Actually, I need you to read yours next because I looked
Okay.
at this one.
Oh, boy.
I didn't get into this one.
All right, so this one's not too. Luis Torres, UT4KS. I don't know if that stands for something. Joker 1 was great. 2, I wouldn't watch if you paid me.
True and boo. There are several movies that we've watched where I've legitimately been like, I should ask for a refund. Joker 2 was one of them.
Yeah, Joker
Natural Born
2.
Killers we didn't pay to see, but I almost wanted to go to AMC and be like, you need to give me a refund because at some point you showed this movie and that's offensive to me.
Live action Little Mermaid. We actually did get a refund because the,
The
AC
AC
was off.
broke.
They were like, they didn't get a refund, but they were like, you can just leave and like you can come back another day and we'll just take your ticket then. I was like, wow, we'll watch it now. Why would I be like, I'll come
right.
back in 2 weeks when I'm stretched and be like, now I'll
And to
watch
end, the legend, Brandon Bacon.
Brandon Bacon.
Band Double B, dude.
Double B.
Double B.
BB.
100% tax on podcast equipment. A bunch of nobodies talking about nothing.
Yes! Yes!
Hit us with the horn. Let's go.
So good.
Brandon Bacon.
Brandon Bacon.
Brandon Bacon.
We
you
are,
know-
I'm going to print that out in big text and put it up on. We got to put some of these up on the wall.
That's
But a bunch of
so
nobody's talking
good.
about nothing is such a good quote. And
Yeah.
100% tax on podcast equipment.
It's phenomenal.
How dare they have income to be able to afford to do this?
Dude, it's so funny.
it's so funny. The level of offense people take of the fact that how dare we show up on their feed that YouTube sent them like
Yeah.
hello?
These guys we can.
It's so good.
You don't have to watch it. It's not for you.
Boo-hoo, your space wizards.
Oh,
I love that crap.
Oh, boo-hoo, he didn't make your Space Wizard the way you wanted to. No, boo-hoo, he didn't make a good movie. That's the boo-hoo. And everyone should boo-hoo that. Boo-hoo, he made a bad movie.
There's so many. There are so many that are just like make podcast over super expensive, 100% tax on podcasts, making the quadrillion dollars, and there's just so there's so
And then
many of
Elon
those. that
Musk
it's
is
just
the only person
so
who gets
funny.
the podcast. Is that the world you want to live in?
It's so funny.
It's so fun. Man, people get really mad that
And then
we were
they
able
comment.
to do this.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Dude,
You can do
Jakob-
it too.
Jakob's to
These are
blame.
not that
Yeah,
expensive.
dude. Honestly, Jakob.
Yeah.
Dude, what
Jakob's
the
to
hell,
blame.
Jakob?
Dude,
I'm Jakob.
he produces our show. So you want to get mad at somebody, get mad at that guy.
Word
For
said
real.
he did actually have to move out of the Strait of Hormuz. So
Ooh,
got a little dicey.
a
Yikers.
little dicey over there.
All right, well, we're happy that you guys stuck around with us. Let's do our show. I know we went a little over. We had a lot in the news, the notes section, because we took a little bit of a hiatus. We will be back in 2 weeks on Monday. We will start with these guys' segments that we didn't get to. We apologize again. We'll be a little quicker on our next show when news is quicker to get through. But we're happy you're with us. Again, hit that like, hit that subscribe.
If you
join
didn't
us.
like it, hit the unlike button twice.
And if you really hate us, keep throwing shade at us. We love reading our comments
They're
live.
pretty great.
so
but you
good.
have to be creative,
Yeah,
okay?
be
You can't
creative
just
with
be
it.
like,
Hit us with something
they
just
dumb.
really
They
mean.
dumb.
Look at
Give us-
me and just give me.
come up with good metaphors.
Okay, this
Greg
is
is
gonna
a
be
ginger. Use that.
this is gonna be a short right here, Mark. All right, I'm telling you. You just look at that camera right there. All right, you're looking at me right now, internet. I need you to give me the craziest comments you can about me. Just light me up. Tell me the wildest crap about me. Just make me cry myself to sleep.
And keep in mind, he's a ginger. Use
Okay, whatever you want. And I better next week. I better be hearing from you guys. All right,
that. Internet.
we
Fat jokes are lazy. Do better.
Fat joke. We'll be back in a couple weeks. Until then, we're the 40 Podcast. Yeah, it was. I think we'll get more comments. We can do that more.
Oh, yeah.
often.
Well, as long as Marco keeps posting.